Broadcasting live from Jerusalem, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
When the bases are loaded, smart investors don't step back. Find out what they're doing from international money expert Doug Goldstein on the Goldstein on Gelt Show, Mondays at 7 p.m.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
From the Emek Refinement Studios in Jerusalem, Israel, our nation's capital, it's Louis Live! Now here you go, me and Raphael Geller. Big show tonight, Raphael.
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing my North Carolina shirt. Show some love.
Oh, that's right.
Tar Heel shirt, nation. Stand up.
They'll be
I picked them to lose in the championship.
They'll be playing, of course, in the Sweet 16. I have them to win the title, so I certainly need them to win this round.
Maybe you should wear the shirt.
I probably should.
Next time.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, you know what? Maybe if they get the Final Four, I might wear something. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of North Carolina gear. But again, a great show tonight, as we do always here on Israel Sports Radio. We have some huge guests, and our first guest is Diana Redmond. Raphael, tell the crowd a little bit about her.
Okay, well, Diana Redmond is a pretty interesting story. She is the first woman to play in the Olim League here in Israel. She is also the first woman to play in the Olim League, which consists of all men. She also plays for the Israeli national team. She moved here after college. She didn't even plan on playing soccer in college. The whole story is very, very interesting, and it was actually just featured in a lot of the major newspapers in Israel, the Post and Haaretz. So we're very happy that we could reach her. Actually, the articles were just in there this past week, this Sunday. So we're happy we could get her on at the end of the week, and we hope we have a fun interview with her.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. You know, we don't have a lot of female guests, I should say, on the program, but it is good whenever we do, and that's a fun story. But we're going to dial her up actually right now and ask her about it, because I have a lot of questions and certainly curious about the story. So we're going to dial her up right now. We thank our friends at Skype for helping us connect to Diana. And you're going to hear the ringing in the background, of course, because this call is live. So this will be a lot of fun as soon as Diana picks up. Hello, Diana. You're on Louis Live and IsraelSportsRadio.com. How you doing out there?
Good. How you doing? It's a pleasure to be on.
Well, pleasure is all ours, and we have a lot to talk about. Let's get right at the beginning. Of course, as Raphael mentioned right at the beginning of the show, you are the first woman to play in the Olim League, which is comprised of all men outside of yourself. How did you go about doing that? I mean, was that a goal of yours? Is that something you saw, that you wanted to be the first woman to do that?
Not at all, actually. I kind of stumbled upon it on Facebook, actually, and I just wanted a new outlet to kind of meet some new people and more people that spoke a little English, and just to have something separate than the league that I play in. So I just contacted them, and they said, sure, come down. And I didn't even know that I'd be the only woman, to be honest.
Great. Hi, Diana. You're on with Raphael now. Again, thank you very much for coming on. It's great to have you on. I kind of just want to talk to our listeners who haven't read the articles about you. Just give them a brief history. Tell us more of where you came from and all that. So as we talked about a couple days ago, you actually didn't play high school soccer, which makes this story even more fascinating. And then when you went to college, you didn't even go for soccer, but you ended up playing soccer. Can you just tell our listeners how someone without college experience, high school experience, and who didn't intend to play soccer in college is now playing on the Israeli national women's team and is pursuing a career in Europe for soccer?
Yeah, it's very unexpected. I played, my junior high school year, and then I quit. I was actually a track runner. I did the heptathlon. and I was kind of drawn to it more. It was something, when you're a track runner, you work hard by yourself and you train by yourself, and it was a bit different. And I kind of put soccer on the side and pursued track and field. I went to Rider University for my first year of college on a scholarship, and it wasn't such a great fit, so I came back to New York and decided to go to Queens College. And I just happened to be playing for fun. Most of the times I play in New York City, either in Central Park or on the East River, just with the men, just to have fun. And, I'd spend 5 hours on the weekend just playing all day. And then one day I was at school and I saw the men playing, so I said, okay, I'm going to go play for a little bit. And the women's coach happened to see me, and he was like, what are you doing? Why are you not playing with the women? He kind of dragged me off the field and kind of brought me from there.
Okay, and speaking of the women's coach, can you tell our listeners about your women's coach? Because our listeners should know who your coach is or was.
Yeah, he is a former national team player, and he played for Hapoel Haifa, Reuben Young. And I had no idea who he was when I first came to Queens College, so I was kind of surprised. And after a few years, he kind of found out that I was Jewish, and, my mother's side of the family had family here in Israel. He kind of pushed me to pursue a career, here in Israel, and he contacted the national team and kind of made the connection from there.
Okay, and so, can you kind of tell us a little bit more why you decided to move to Israel? Because I recall you telling me that it never really was a plan, or you even went as far as saying that you never thought it would happen, and here you are in Israel.
Yeah, never in my life did I even dream, or not even for a split second did I think I'd be living in Israel, especially now. It's been 5 years. So it was a really big surprise, and, I kind of instantly saw it as a really great opportunity for me to change the direction of my life and do something really positive and motivating. So I took it and ran. They said, okay, you'll come for 3 weeks and you'll try it out, see how you like it. And 5 years later, I'm still here.
Okay, now I just want to talk a little bit about what you're doing right now besides soccer, which in my opinion really makes this story so amazing, is the fact that you are in college right now working hard. Can you tell us a little bit more what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm working on my second master's. It's a master's PhD program in crisis and trauma development at Tel Aviv University. It's kind of social work for very extreme cases. But actually, I've been working once a week at a school in Hatikva, doing a sports education program, developing that for fifth grade girls. So I've kind of found a little niche for me to, work with all the girls there, kind of from not from Israel. They're immigrants, or their parents are immigrants, or there's some sort of problematic thing going on, and so using sports to help them improve their self-esteem and give them a direction in their life. So it's something really positive for me. And I'm kind of a nerd, so I love to be in school.
Okay. And so pretty much you have your soccer life and you have your university life. So can you just take us through a normal day that consists of soccer and work and how you go about it?
Well, usually I wake up in the morning. I do yoga, which is one of my favorite things to do, or Pilates. So I get some sort of stretching in the morning. Usually I have class around 10 o'clock until about 4. 3 days a week I'll have practice in the evening, and the days that I don't have practice I'll either do one-on-one training with someone, or I'll go to the gym. And then in the evening I have to find time to do schoolwork, and also on the weekends. So it's pretty busy. Twice a week I work with the school. I work with one-on-one with a young girl. She's 11, and then once a week I work on working with a group of girls who are 11 years old. So it's a lot of work. Okay,
yeah, definitely. I think it's remarkable that you can do both of those things and be successful at both of those things. We have a lot of listeners in the United States who aren't familiar exactly with what the Olim League is. So can you kind of give us a preview of what the league is and what it stands for and who participates and all that?
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 years old. It was founded by Yoni Sidi, David Mokada, Simone Berkeley. I'm probably butchering their names, but they came and they wanted their own space to play and just to kind of get everyone together. And before this, it was actually once a year they'd have a cup game. It would be like Tel Aviv versus Jerusalem, or just of all the Olympian players. And then it kind of grew from there. So now there's more and more teams every year, and they're hoping that it'll kind of grow each year. I know they have a French team in Ashdod, and so they're looking to get different countries involved and more people, to try and join the league.
Okay, and you play for the Jaffa team.
Yeah, I play for Jaffa.
Okay, and you guys have a game. Do you guys have any games coming up that maybe someone could go check out?
Yeah, we have a game in 2 weeks. I'm ashamed I don't remember which field it's on. I believe it's in Jaffa.
Okay.
There's a few games left. We have a cup game. We have there's a game against Jerusalem. That'll be a home game, so that'll be in Jaffa. I believe that's in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, but if anyone wants to know the exact schedule, they can contact Simon Berkeley. He's kind of the rep for all the teams and knows the ins and outs of everything.
Okay, great. The next question I kind of want to talk about, you talked to me about you've gotten some offers and potentially looked at playing professional women's soccer in Spain or England or Germany or one of those places. You're looking into it. Can you
I'd really, really love to play in Europe. It's kind of, now that I'm a few years here in Israel and I'm looking at my future goals, it's great soccer in Germany. And I love Spain. It would be an honor to play in Spain or France. Just kind of putting the feelers out now to see which teams are interested. And after our previous national team game, 2 teams in Germany had contacted me about the possibility. So, just looking into the details to see if it's possible and hopefully.
Okay, great. Well, we at Israel Sports Radio wish you the best of luck in that, in your career and your path. The next we want to focus on the Israeli national women's team, which is really cool that that you get to compete for them, and we just kind of want to talk about that. How does it work throughout the year with, is it as similar as men? Is there training camps before tournaments, or where do all the other girls come from? We know your story. How do other girls get involved? Just can you tell us more of an overview of the national women's team?
Sure. Well, right now we're in the Euro Cup. Our next game is actually June 16th. It's an away game against Scotland. It's not like the men, unfortunately. The men have a lot more money. They can afford to bring more girls to each training. They can have more trainings a week. They can start months and months before. So for us, we have to work with what we have, unfortunately. But if we have a game in June, we're starting now to prepare, and maybe twice a week we'll have practices. But we also have our league practices, so we kind of work with them together.
Okay.
And,
sorry, go ahead.
Actually, we need more support from I guess the IFA and just some, we have problems with money, but
okay.
That's where we're at right now.
Okay. Could you tell us maybe your favorite place that you have played on the Israel national team, favorite stadium that you've played in?
Yeah, wow. The most gorgeous stadium I've ever played in was actually in Kazakhstan.
Wow.
Completely empty when we played, but it was incredible. Even just the area that we played in, it was very, very new, very modern, very built up. But the stadium was something I never in my life had seen. And also when we played in France, and to play in a stadium that was full and to have the feeling, even though everyone was for France, it was still an incredible feeling. There's thousands, maybe 10,000 people in the stands, and it's such a different environment.
Yeah.
And once you feel it, you're like, I want more, I want more.
So do you think that that's driving you towards wanting to pursue this career in Europe?
Yeah, I think it's, in Europe they're more open to women's sports and it's more developed. And I think, it'd be a real honor to go to Europe and represent Israel as a player also.
Yeah,
we have a lot of great players here in Israel. It's just a matter of getting out there and saying, hey, we're here too. We're a tiny country, but, we have great players here.
No, absolutely. There's a lot of great men's players out there, and Yossi Benayoun, Rafaelov, Ben Sar, all across Europe right now. So it'd be really great to add an Israeli woman to that list. So we're also rooting you on that.
And we've had a player before play in Germany. Sarit Shanar played in Germany.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get more.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of talk to you about what do we talked about this kind of on the phone before the interview. What kind of things do you see for women's sports developing in the next couple of years? How can people get more involved? I mean, this is something that's been going on everywhere in the country. Women's sports don't get as much publicity as they should, and it's a shame because there's a lot of talent there that it's fun to watch. So can you just tell us what you think can be done, or what's your opinion on all that?
Well, first it's got to start with simple things like, for instance, on the Sport Hamesh website, there's not even a section for women's soccer. And it's something so simple. If anyone wants to go and find out about a game, they don't even, most people don't even know we have a league here. So people are very surprised when I tell them I play professional soccer in Israel on the women's team. They don't even know the first team to bring up. So simple thing like putting just a little section on Sport Hamesh or, putting more commercials on TV. And there are organizations here. There's Athena, which is a really, really great organization that really promotes women's sports and women's soccer and really positive image in Israel. And they're having, on April 8th, they're having an open day for girls who want to play soccer, and it's going to be 3 locations around Israel. And if anybody's interested or knows someone in Israel, they can contact the IFA directly or Athena. They can speak to Sharon Zivi. And they're looking for anyone who wants to support sports here. So I think just getting the word around and also having men's teams support the women's program, that's a really big thing. Because all the women, we, of course, want to support each other, but without everybody else, it can only go so far.
All right, Dinah, we know you're very busy. We're going to let you go with this last question. I checked out some of your pictures on Facebook, and there is one of you talking to looks like a mannequin inside a car. I got to know the story behind that.
That is, I used to live on Shankin Street, and there's a juice store, and they always have this mannequin outside drinking the juice. And when they close, they put the mannequin in the car, and it just sits there.
Okay.
So I see it every night.
All right, so that makes sense. That's a little more normal. See, you always got to hear the other side of the story because you can always jump to conclusions. Think, why is she talking to a mannequin and having a straw at the same time? Well, Diana, it was certainly a lot of fun to have you on. Good luck with your soccer career here in Israel. We certainly will be following and supporting you, and thank you for being on Israel Sports Radio.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, be well.
Thank you.
All right. That was Diana Redmond, who, again, is the first woman to play with the men, with the boys. Certainly not an easy thing to do, and it was fascinating to me that wasn't her plan at all to do that.
No, that's what makes the story even more remarkable is didn't play high school soccer, didn't intend to play college soccer. It's kind of like Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. And in basketball, I know Dennis Rodman didn't play high school but played college. But you know,
a small college, right?
Small college,
right.
Yeah. And I think his rookie year in the NBA, I think he was 25. I mean, he kind of was in college for a while and didn't start college right away. Worked on a farm, all that kind of stuff. But it one of those things that you don't see too often in sports. Usually, the professional athletes or people that play at a high level, they play. Even before high school, junior high, grade school, they just keep playing on different teams. So this wasn't something she planned on, but it happened, and she's thriving right now. So we appreciate Diana's time here on Louis Live. We're going to take a break. On the other side, it's Tebow, baby. We'll talk about that, all that good stuff. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamic specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, thanks to Dana Redman. That was a fun interview, and we have a jam-packed show tonight. And right now we're going to talk about Tim Tebow and other NFL stories. This is incredible. In case you haven't heard, this happened yesterday. Tim Tebow is traded. He's going to be going to the New York Jets. This was the aftermath of Peyton Manning signing that huge deal, that 5-year, $95 million deal with Denver. And it looks like the changing of the guard, Elway did not like Tebow apparently and didn't give him the vote of confidence throughout the year, even when he had that winning streak. So he shipped him off to New York. And now questions remain exactly what happens with Mark Sanchez. I think Mark Sanchez is the starter, it looks like. I don't know what they're thinking in New York. They have a quarterback. Why did they trade for another? What do you think, Raphael?
Yeah, I just was listening to some radio in New York. Santonio Holmes, who's pretty much their, I don't know, what do you call him, their star, they're probably their best wide receiver, actually tweeted last night, why are we adding more quarterbacks? We need to add more weapons for Sanchez to throw to. So I don't really like this trade. I don't understand it. Joe Namath also went on a New York City radio and completely slammed it and said that the New York Jets front office has absolutely no idea what they're doing. they just signed him to Mark Sanchez, that is, to a $40 million
3-year deal,
3-year extension, and then they trade for a quarterback who has the potential to be a starter, but then Tannenbaum comes out and says Sanchez still is our starter. So I don't know.
It's really weird, unless you want to convert Tebow into a running back, which is not a bad idea. But as Callie Dave said on the program a few days ago, Tebow's secret to success with the run is that he has the ability to pass, and people have to defend the pass, and that's why he's able to run so well. It's kind of like that great point guard who scores because you're worried he could pass, and if you would play on one-on-one, you would do much better against him because he comes one-dimensional. So that is Tebow's secret to success. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I know Tannenbaum said one thing, but if the Jets are 1-3, you're going to hear, heck, in New York, if they lose the first game, you're going to hear put Tebow in right now.
Right, and last year, I don't know if you remember this, Ari, but for a long time, what would happen is Sanchez would struggle, and then Rex Ryan would be like, okay, I'm going to put in practice. You're going to have you're not going to be with the first team for all practice. We're going to put Mark Brunell in to cover some first team reps. And of course, it was always a joke because everyone and their mom knew that Mark Brunell was never going to start on Sundays over Sanchez. So maybe this was done to kind of show Sanchez like, listen, man, you do have the contract. We can trade you. Things, let's give a good example of what just happened. Nene from the Denver Nuggets got a $55 million contract this summer, and they shipped him 5 months of the season. So it's still possible to make a trade, even if you just signed an extension. So thinking about it that way, it could be that their intention here was to kind of scare Sanchez and say, if you don't perform, you got a guy behind you.
And Tebow's not making that much money. I know exactly what it is. I think it's maybe $500,000 or something.
Right,
this is the third year, by the way, in the NFL.
It's interesting. He got about $6.5 million in signing bonuses, but his base salary is very low. You're right.
Yeah, and also if they don't play him, they don't have to pay a lot of incentives. Mm-hmm. But this is the third year he's played in the NFL coming up, so still in that rookie deal. And Tebow Mania now coming to New York. Of course, when Jeremy Lin was started well with the Knicks, you made that great point that in his first 4 games, he had more points than the first 4 games of Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, on and on and on. And it was kind of Jeremy Lin mania. They compared it to Tebow. Now both players play the same city. They asked Jeremy Lin about this trade, and he said, I'm just excited for him and to see what he does. We'll see what happens next year.
Right.
Very PC.
The Knicks have gone 5-0 since I think the quote-unquote retirement,
resigning, if you will, of Mike D'Antoni, if you want to believe that.
Right. Anyway, that's just New York. Side note.
So now they call it Tim Sanity with Tebow coming in. I like that name already. The thing with Sanchez, I'm very stuck on him. I've eaten a lot of crow because I've said he's an average quarterback. And then in the playoffs, though, he has a 4-2 record.
Right.
He's 4 road wins. I believe that's the most of all time.
Against the Pats and the Colts, I believe.
Yeah, he's been in the same season. Oh no, excuse me, that was a different year. Last season he beat the Patriots in Gillette. So he's beaten some impressive teams, and this is his 4th year coming up. So he only has 1 year in the league longer than Tebow. A little misleading because Tebow didn't play that much in his rookie season.
Yeah, barely.
So Sanchez has been in the spotlight. He's played in 2 AFC Championship games. They had a lead against the Colts in one of them at halftime, and had they played both halves, they would have beaten the Steelers and gone to the Super Bowl. But 8-8 last season. So it's really hard to figure out this guy with Sanchez. His playoff percentage is better than Peyton Manning's. But
that's not hard to do, though.
It's not that hard to do. So Tebow has a better playoff percentage than Manning, as I said before, earlier in the week. So I'm not sure what you're going to do with Marky Mark. I will say this, and I was talking about this with a friend of mine off the air. This whole Jesus thing, Denver's a good place to be a Christian. There's mountains, there's not a lot to do, it's not such a dirty place. It looks like one of those Christian videos, like Tebow could grow out his beard and talk about New Testament scripture and on and on and on. That seemed like such a great place, and I think part of the reason the fans love him. In New York's a tough place to be a, quote-unquote religious Christian, especially in the city. And I made the joke, even religious Jews end up in a strip club at some point, it feels like, in New York. It's this kind of way everything is shifted there. You walk outside and the billboards are like nude women. So it's not, this guy who's preaching about Jesus stuff all the time, I don't know if he's going to like that so much. It's a tough place to play. There's a lot of negativity. And his positivity and his positive thinking will truly be tested, because if he throws for 3 touchdowns and they win, but he also throws an interception, the media will focus on that interception. And they will ask him nonstop, and they're going to try to get him to snap. There'll be some nerdy, annoying, Newtnick type of reporter whose entire goal the whole season will get Tebow to pull a Bobby Bonilla or Michael Strahan, one of these guys in the locker room of a New York team that will cuss out a reporter or challenge to a fight, in which both, Bonilla did that very clearly. I don't know if Tebow is at their level, if he'll snap, but he might. It's just a hard place to live. It's a pressure cooker. There's attention all the time, nonstop. If Tim Tebow goes to the bathroom at a KFC, everyone's going to know about it. It's New York. It's a city that never sleeps. There's media nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on Sundays. And they're not going to rest, and they're not going to leave him alone. Do you think Tebow at some point is going to snap to this pressure in New York City?
Actually, no, because this guy went to University of Florida, which is kind of a big party school, a big school for, I think, 35,000 people. A lot of people from New York, so maybe he's used to that. A lot of Jews from New York, a lot of Jews from everywhere. Actually, one of the biggest Jewish universities in the United States per capita. But I really don't. I don't think so. I actually think he could reverse everything you said and maybe use his religion to become more strong and have better faith. I think that people will try and get under his buttons and say exactly what you said, but he's always so positive. Like, someone will be like, you had a horrible, horrible game, and he'll just come out there and be like, well, you're right. Next game I'll try and do best, and I just want to thank Jesus for giving me the opportunity to play. I really don't see that happening. You never know, though, because people break down, people fall apart. New York is the toughest place to play. I'm going to go ahead, maybe say in the world, maybe places like London and Manchester for soccer are like that. But in the United States market-wise, New York is the toughest. And you're right, going from Denver, which is really not that big of a city population-wise, it just seems like it is, but it's not, to New York is a very, very big transition. But like I said, I really think his time in Gainesville with the Gators will have helped him.
Yeah, Florida is not like the University of Miami as far as being a party school, but yes, you're right, it is in Florida. It's near a beach somewhere, I'm sure, and he definitely was tempted to do all kinds of things, and he, at least according to his claim, did not do so. That could help him. It's still not going to be the same. You just can't prepare for New York. You just can't do it. Any city in the world, it's just not like living in New York City. But, excuse me, maybe he'll just kind of rise to the challenge. There are players that become legends in New York. Derek Jeter is this clean-cut guy who's able to polish that image, even though he is a huge womanizer and loves the ladies and parties, but he's able to go with the clean-cut thing anyway. So maybe Tebow will be able to have his cake and eat it too. Maybe have women to the side. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Of course, Timmy, if you're listening,
probably not, to be honest.
Yeah, hopefully not. I kind of like what he's about, and he's trying to maintain that.
We are Jews, but you gotta appreciate what he does just for religion.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. Right. I think he's a guy, and you're right on that. He freezes people and freezes their negativities. When Brian Urlacher said he's a great running back, Tim Tebow said, well, from a great player like Brian, that's a compliment.
Right, and one of the coolest things I saw this, I think when he was at Florida, I don't know if you remember this during that big championship game that they did win, he had a scripture line painted on his, what's it called, that black mark they put under their eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
The I forgot exactly what it's called, but a lot of baseball players have it. It kind of looks like war paint, but it's a lot of players use it because it's easier to play in the sun that way.
Right, and he put on a line from, or a verse from a scripture. And
right, John 3:14, I think?
Right, something like that. 93 million hits on Google of question was what is that, or what line is that? So I mean, he definitely brings in, he helps religion as a whole. At first I kind of had a problem with it because I kind of thought it was fake. I hate to say that on air, but it's not anymore. I don't believe that anymore. And yeah, we're very, very excited to see what's going to happen in New York.
And speaking of New York, we're going to dial someone right now per request because he's a huge Jets fan. Yossi G, you're on Louis Live.
Yossi G.
Oh, man.
What a day.
Seriously, stop the blasphemy.
It's a good day for you. You know you love it. What the hell are you going to do, though? Are you going to start Tebow over Sanchez if you're in charge, if you're Sexy Rexy?
Look, here's the deal. They said that Mark Sanchez as a starter. That's what Tannenbaum came out
Right.
with this morning. We know that Tebow can start. He can play. Granted, it's all limited, but he can play. He has one in the league. However, yes, as you so aptly mentioned, that as soon as Mark Sanchez, I don't know if he loses one game, but if he loses two in a row, they'll be calling for
Yes, they will.
Tebow to come in. But here's the thing. The Jets got Tebow to run specific plays. They got him to be the next Brad Smith, to run
like a third down
Wildcat
quarterback?
offense. And Tony Sparano, the new offensive coordinator, he's the one who introduced the Wildcat to the Miami Dolphins when he was a coach there. So
Yeah, they have. Yeah, but in the NFL, they have a concept of a third down running back. Could Tebow be a third down quarterback if it's, let's say, 3rd and 1, and you stick him in there to run? I mean, you could do that theoretically, right?
Definitely you can, but also now, with regards to the locker room, this is a complete disaster. For a football perspective, this is great because you have a quarterback who now can do specifically designed plays that you had that the Jets had when they employed Brad Smith into their game plan. He was their you could do everything type player. Once they lose him, that was last season, he's let go. He's signed by the Bills, and the Jets go 8-8. Is there a coincidence? Perhaps.
Well, I want to know.
Not.
I want to know in the locker room if Tebow is going to ask Sexy Rexy to repent for that porno video he made with his wife.
There will be no chicken grease and foot fetish videos, that's for sure, and it would not shock me if Rex Ryan's press conferences are now limited to a whole of 11 seconds, because once it goes beyond that when we know Rex can go on to his tangents and things as such.
That point, that TV show, not on HBO, not Real Sports, the one with the football, Hard Knocks. Rex Ryan got written up for all that swearing he did. Will he be able – I mean, Rex Ryan's going to say, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want. I don't care if he likes it or not. But will Tebow kind of give him that puppy dog look and say, could you stop swearing, Coach? Jesus doesn't like it.
It doesn't matter what Tebow thinks. It doesn't – nobody cares. The locker room is not going to care. Here's how it works in a locker room. Players, they follow the leader. Who is that leader? Whoever is the starting quarterback who is successful. Right now, at this point in time, it is not Tim Tebow. He's the backup. He will not. No, it doesn't matter how many rah-rah type speeches that he can give and try to channel his inner Ray Lewis. The difference is Ray Lewis is a starter. He is a good football player who is starting. Tim Tebow may be a good football player, but he's not starting.
You know, okay, but if he does start, let's say Mark Sanchez gets injured, so this way Tebow gets in the slot without any resistance, if you will. He has to be the guy. He's then the leader. Do all the players then fall asleep? Because Denver, the players loved him. That's another thing also I'd be somewhat concerned about the fallout of taking Manning over Tebow. The players loved him. They felt a certain confidence. They felt like they're going to win the game somehow, some way. And I think if Tebow said, hey, we're all going to church Sunday, follow me, the players would have said, yeah. If he's a starting quarterback in New York, do the players follow him?
He will have to prove himself in New York in order for the players to follow suit, because we already have Antonio Cromartie coming out saying that, oh, no, we don't need Tebow. This is before the trade was even official. Oh, we don't need Tebow. We don't need another quarterback. We are fine with Mark Sanchez. That's all good. And then even after it became official, 8 hours later, after the back-and-forth contractual debate and discussion that the Jets and Broncos were having, because the Broncos, dumb enough, spotted Tebow $5 million for his salary in the Jets, and basically they wanted the Jets to pay that, and the Jets kind of gave them the middle finger, saying, we're not doing that, not happening. So they came to an agreement to do half, to pay half, meet each other in the middle. Even after that occurred, Antonio Cromartie still came out on Twitter and basically was saying, why do we need him? We need to surround more weapons, surround Sanchez with more offensive weapons, not Tebow.
Wait, hold on. I want to, the payment. Okay, I'm confused because we were saying his base salary is probably about $500,000, but the Jets have to pay $2.5. Is that to cover the signing bonuses? What's the $2.5 for?
He was signed to a 5-year, 11 and change million contract.
Tim Tebow was.
Yes, that was Tebow. However, in the language in the contract, it's stated that at the end of, or the beginning of training camp for the 2011-2012 season, which never happened due to the NFL strike, the
lockout
that was going on. So because that never happened, so they gave it to him on the first week of preseason. They spotted him, in the language of the contract, was $5 million based upon performance down the road. In other words, if he plays, he gets to keep it. If he doesn't play, or rather he retires or something like that, even if he sits on the bench, big deal, but he still could theoretically play, he gets to keep it. If he's injured, then he has to pay it back. That was guaranteed money per se. And that is what the Denver Broncos wanted the Jets to pay because, hey, look, he's now your problem, not ours. And the Jets are saying, what do you mean? You signed that contract with him, not us.
Okay, hey, OCG, it's Raphael. How you doing out there?
Awesome. Thank God.
Great. Let's move on to a story that was actually, in my opinion, bigger because Tim Tebow, blah, blah, blah. But this is a story that's going to affect the team for the rest of the year and potentially in the future. Of course, we're talking about the New Orleans Saints, who just suspended their coach, Sean Payne, for the year. Of course, their former defensive coordinator, I think last year with the Rams, Greg Williams, is suspended indefinitely, which in my opinion just means he's probably banned or he's going to be gone for long enough that nobody will care. There was a great interview yesterday with Adam Schefter at Roger Goodell, where Goodell really was talking about how this is not acceptable. This happened for 3 years, and they kept lying about it. This is, I mean, I saw tweets from Breeze and so many players on the Saints. What are your thoughts on this, and do you think this could really affect their upcoming season?
Well, for starters, it wasn't the Saints that suspended Payton. It was the NFL.
Right.
It was Roger Goodell's office. My thought is really what happened here is that you have a coach who was informed of what was going on. He knew what was going on, but yet chose to ignore it. And his mistake, essentially, is what, bit him in the behind, so to speak. And with regards to Goodell's office, they were misinformed. I'm not going to go ahead and say that they were told a lie, but let's say they were misinformed. Go down that road. And that really peeved Roger Goodell, really, sent him the wrong way, and he was very upset about that. And yes, for the NFL, for the way that this is going on throughout the league, this is uncharted territory. We don't know how this is going to turn out, how it's going to, the players are going to react to it, and how they will be for the season. You just have to look at what Drew Brees put on Twitter, something to the extent of, that he's shocked and he's speechless and no words to describe what.
Which is kind of silly,
means.
No? A little silly to say. It's a bit silly to say that, don't you think?
Yeah, but he's just expressing, what he feels.
Initial reaction as well.
Yes, and the only thing that you could really take and annex to this situation is it's not going to affect the players that much. Because essentially, what happens when a coach gets fired? Players move on.
Right.
It's not the end of the world. Yes, this didn't happen right before Game 1 of the 2012-2013 NFL season. We're still months away from September. We're not even at training camp. We're not, we're not even at the NFL draft yet. The question, though, will be, what sort of suspension is this? It's not clear exactly if Payton will be able to go to practices, will be able to watch practice, watch any film, have any contact with the players. That's not clear yet exactly how far the suspension is going to take it. But with regards to Greg Williams, I don't think he should be allowed into the NFL at all.
Right.
He's suspended indefinitely, and they're going to reevaluate
the
situation after the season. I think he should be not banned for life, but banned from coaching in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, I think something that's also interesting about this story is towards the end of the interview with Adam Schefter from ESPN and Roger Goodell, the commish, Goodell was saying this isn't over. We're waiting to hear from the players, the NFL Players Association, the Players Union, and there could be a lot of players suspended or fined. This is not over yet. And if you look at some of the lists of guys who were involved, Jonathan Wilma, who's been a Pro Bowler for a long time, who's been a Pro Bowler. I think he was on the Jets, or I forget which, maybe the Falcons, but now he was on the Saints. And some of the guys that were targeted, we're not talking about nobodies. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Brett Favre, Kurt Warner. So when Goodell was doing the interview, he was saying there's so many players that could have gotten injured from this, and for all we know, there probably were a lot that did. So what do you think is going to happen in the league if you start seeing players suspended all over the league on different teams? Will the Players Association be like, you can't do that because now all the teams are going like this? Potentially can grow into a way bigger story, don't you think?
Well, it already has. You have Warren Sapp calling out Jeremy Shockey, saying that he was a, quote, snitch, that he was the one who started this whole thing.
Right.
And Warren Sapp really put himself into a pickle because, A, he better have proof of backing this up, because whatever sort of career Shockey has remaining was just shot out the window, because no front office personnel, nobody in a locker room is going to want to associate himself or his teammates or anything like that with somebody who is known as a snitch. That's just how it's going to be. So what Warren Sapp, yes, we know he loves to talk. That's an old thing.
Right.
He's done that when he was a player. He's doing that now as a analyst. He loves to talk, but he better be able to back up his statement, because Jeremy Shockey can go ahead and sue him for all he's worth and then some for damages for defaming his name. So this already has blown up, gone perhaps reaching beyond just the NFL itself.
Right, and now that the Tim Tebow story is behind us, I think now on all the talk shows, they're going to, they didn't fully focus. They gave a lot of attention to this yesterday, but now it's going to be full-blown 100%. Of course, it's the off-season. Free agency's kind of dying down, and now this is such a huge story. I kind of wanted to get your opinion on, I guess I asked you this earlier, but do you think the Saints, the interesting part is that the Saints were planning on naming an interim coach, and then they found out that interim coach was as well suspended for the first, I think, 6 or 8 games. So who are they going to dig up from the organization to be coached? They can't really bring someone in from another team because they have Peyton signed. It's a very tricky situation. They might have to let some guy without a lot of experience to get the head coaching job. What do you think the Saints are going to do there?
Well, look at what happened the last couple of years in New Orleans. They had Pete Carmichael, the offensive coordinator, who was calling all the offensive plays. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really worried if I was the Saints. They have a new defensive coordinator, and it wouldn't shock me if Carmichael takes over not just the offensive coordinator duties, but becomes the interim head coach, so to speak, still calls his plays, and allows the defensive coordinator to do his thing.
Okay, that's a very good point. I don't think he's had coaching experience before. I could be wrong. If not, it's not. But if you think about it, to have a team with Drew Brees on it and all the receivers and all the weapons is not bad to be handed a coaching job. It's not like you're going to the Rams or to some team. It's good. You know what I mean? Like this happened to a coach or to a team that has a lot of talent. So you're right. They probably will be okay. So that's important.
Yeah, and any beat that would be missed won't actually be missed, because there's all of that time that you have between now and the first real snap of next season to make up for that gap that may be between coach and assistant.
Well, CG, we have about 2 minutes left, so I just want to touch base on one last thing. The New York Knicks have now gone 5-0. This team was 7-0 or 6, something like that when Jeremy Lin started. Then they lost 6 in a row, 5 in a row. Now they've won 5 in a row. What is going on in New York? Is this because of D'Antoni's resignation? Is this because Carmelo Anthony's starting to shoot the ball less? What is going on there? What can we expect from this team going forward?
You could expect excitement. for better or for worse. That is all that you can expect from the Knicks. No, it's not because of Mike D'Antoni's resignation, I don't think, at least, because, D'Antoni couldn't get through to his players. It's not just him resigning per se, just as that being the only factor. It's a combination of him resigning, a new coach, a willingness for Carmelo Anthony to listen to his coach, to play defense, something he has not done consistently in his career. This is probably the longest string of games in a row that he's played defense, that he's actually focused on it. And no, it's not that Carmelo Anthony is shooting less. He's just making less shots. He's taking the same amount of shots. He's not chucking up 20 shots a game, but he's still doing in about the 14-15 range. He's just not making them. He's been dead beat cold in his shooting, thereby he realizes he has to step up his game elsewhere. He's been passing the ball more. He's been getting after rebounds. He's been trying to play defense and has at times been more successful than he has in the past. And it's also about the team playing for something. They realize that they are no longer comfortably sitting in a sixth seed for the playoff seeding, and they're now in the eighth seed trying to play and fight for their playoff lives. So they realize that there is something at stake here, and in a strike-shortened season, every game at this point counts for more than just a game in itself.
Absolutely, man. Good analysis. We appreciate you coming on short notice to talk about the whole Tebow, Sean Payton, and, of course, the New York Knicks. So, Yossi G, we'll have to have you on soon, but thank you for being on tonight's program of Louis Live.
Pleasure is all mine, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, man. Be well out there.
Take care.
Bye, Yossi G.
All right, that was Yossi G, my former co-host here on Louis Live. So we're going to take a break, and on the other side, we'll have some programming notes and bring Andy Gershman on in about 10 minutes. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamic specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, a quick programming note for tonight for the rest of the evening. This episode of Louis Live is a 3-hour edition, and coming up in the 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock hours, we're going to be having on the author of Modern Day Maccabees and my former co-host back in the days of the Andy and Ari show, Andy Gershman. He'll be coming on at 6 o'clock. At 6:30, we're going to have from Aroni Ashkelon, Dwayne Mitchell, who we saw in person in the slam dunk contest at the All-Star festivities in Ashkelon. 6:45, we have Jasmine Marcus from the Cornell Sun. And 7 o'clock, a fantastic treat to have on. He is the former coach of Cal, the University of Cal Berkeley, and that is Ben Braun. And 7:30, two-time NBA champion and Maccabi Tel Aviv legend Jordan Farmar. Then at 8 o'clock, we're going to have the Wrestling Breakdown Show hosted by Yossi Friedman, a.k.a. Yos the Bus. At 9 o'clock, it's the Bus and Tank Football Show from 9 to 10. They'll be talking about a lot of New York stuff and New York football. A lot of Tebow, you can take a guess. If you want to stay tuned for the Lions versus Pioneers football game, you have to check that out on our sister network, Israel Sports Network. That's isn.co.il. That is a playoff game. It is the Southern Division title game. Winner goes on to the Israel Bowl for the Ofri Becker Trophy. Again, that is at 8 p.m. We'll take a break. And on the other side, it's Andy Gershman. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamic specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hello. Back here on Louis Live, we're joined by our next guest, the author of Modern Day Maccabees, Andrew Gershman. Andy, how you doing out there?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Hope we certainly didn't wake you. Now, we have a lot to talk about.
What am I, like a college student? Or?
We did go to college not too long ago. Wasn't it a few years ago you were in college?
Just a couple, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. You're only a few years outside of college is our guest right now. Now, your boy Chipper Jones is announcing he's going to retire at the end of the year. Is he like Jorge Posada, a first-round Hall of Famer, or is he not as good as Jorge Posada?
Actually, Jorge Posada just called. He will be carrying Chipper Jones' jock around for this year because that's the only way he will sniff the Hall of Fame.
Oh, a lot of disgusting stuff there. Now, you brought up
Jorge
this...
Posada, he shouldn't even be in the same sentence. He may be able to be in the same sentence as Javi Lopez, but not Chipper Jones.
You brought up this point. I can't remember if this was a personal conversation on the air about Chipper Jones' father. I know we talked so much. Don't remember when it happened. But Chipper Jones' father, because he had some comments regarding steroids. I think Chipper Jones contemplated steroids, and he said he did not do it. But talk about what his father said regarding Chipper's statements.
Yeah, I mean, his father asked him one day, point blank, did you ever take steroids when all of this kind of blew up? And basically he told him that if he ever heard that, he was part of this, it would be like the most disappointing thing he ever heard. And it would be such a letdown. And he pretty much reassured his father. He told him that he had, at one point contemplated taking them. And he didn't because he knew he wanted to have children. And he wasn't sure about the side effects there.
Yeah.
And so he never did it for that reason.
Well, see, that's the good thing I always thought.
Interesting.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, which is interesting. He didn't say he didn't do it because of the integrity of the game. He said, I wanted to have kids.
Well, that's one of the pluses of Barry Bonds taking steroids. If it prevents him from breeding more Bondses in the world, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Well, Barry Bonds, we've always talked about it, and I think, I don't know what year exactly Chipper Jones contemplated, but, that's always the irony with Barry Bonds. He was a 3-time MVP before he even put anything in his body.
Now, let's go on to the big year suspension of Sean Payton with the Bounties. Now, who? The Bounties, though, in my memory, have gone on for a while. We know that there was a gentleman who used to coach the Cardinals named Buddy Ryan who did a lot of these bounties with the Bears. And now, how is it now people are paying attention? I mean, I always thought it was a known thing. What was the trigger point outside of Jeremy Shockey running his mouth?
Well,
Allegedly.
First of all, I was just listening to our good friend Dan Patrick, and he, being one of our peers, I respect him. He just had somebody on from New Orleans, and the guy from New Orleans, the reporter, clearly said that he does not believe the whole Jeremy Shockey thing. That is not Jeremy Shockey. And that if it was Jeremy Shockey, it would be Jeremy Shockey and a bunch of other people. That he certainly wouldn't be the only person. That he doesn't really know where Warren Sapp has come up with his information.
Yeah,
first of all.
So the theory is that Jeremy wants to get back at Sean Payton. I mean, why would he do that other side of just being drunk one night and spilling the beans? Why would he say that?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. You know, like I said, he kind of felt like if it was him, it was him and a bunch of other people.
Okay, and then, but so why though the bounty's being caught? People more sensitive to it now, I suppose. But what's the difference
Dan
now?
Patrick was talking about that. NBC once televised a game called Bounty Bowl 2 between the Eagles and the Cowboys. If you remember, Buddy Ryan, as you mentioned before, when he was with the Eagles, put a bounty on the kicker.
Right.
For the Cowboys. And if you remember, they hit, I think it was in Dejas, one of the Zendejases, I think. They hit him so hard he went to the wrong bench after he attempted the kick. And they said that in this game, which they touted as Bounty Bowl, that Paul Tagliabue actually was in the stands watching the game. So it wasn't even like it was like so taboo. It was just kind of, yeah, okay. That's what we do.
I mean, that's what players do. They hit hard. You can't. It's hard to tell a player. There's a saying that you raise a pit bull and then you expect him not to eat up the furniture. You tell these big, strong men in practice, hit hard, and then say, but don't go too hard. We don't want to injure anyone. Football players just don't think that way. At least most of them. They're just thinking to hit as hard as possible. And it's thank God we don't have as many injuries as possible. So I don't know. I mean, a bounty sounds weird, but let's say they paid a lot of money for them to hit hard. Then that's okay.
The problem is this. The problem that they're running into is exactly what James Harrison has been complaining about for I don't know how many years now, 2-3 years, that they're levying rules, they're levying fines and penalties when nothing was ever called on the field.
Right, that's right. So it was a big deal, but the referees didn't see it, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right. Now, I mean, there's certain hits that they're really talking about. I guess there was a hit on Warner.
Mm-hmm. Right.
A couple of years ago. There was a hit on Favre a couple of years ago. Apparently, there's known bounty to have been put on Cam Newton this year, and one other. It was just interesting because they said, why did they put a bounty on, who was it for Seattle, Marshawn Lynch? Is that his name?
Right, yes.
Seattle. They said, because he ran all over him. How come they didn't put a bounty on him? Why did they leave him out? But, again, it's interesting because there's not many penalties. They don't think that Sean Payton, because it's a little different than when a player is suspended because a player has a union representation. Coach does not. So he's basically making his appeal back to the commissioner.
And he has to do it by himself, basically, right? Or he has a lawyer,
right.
But he doesn't have a union
the
behind
other
him.
thing is, that, they want to know, the big question is, why did he get suspended for a year? In Spygate, Bill Belichick got nothing.
Yeah, the team got fined, and Belichick didn't get anything personally.
Belichick got fined personally, but the team paid it.
The team paid it. Okay. The fine though wasn't it $500,000 but a draft pick also. Yeah. But whatever it was on the tape was serious enough that the NFL discarded the tape. They got rid of the evidence. They didn't want anyone to see it. So it was very serious. And a lot of people think that was the reason why they won a couple of those Super Bowls. So that doesn't seem to be very fair. It's true. But you had a theory that you don't believe Sean Payton's suspension will be entire year, or do you think it'll hold up?
I don't think so. I think they'll reduce it to 9-10 games. They'll let him back in at the end or something. A lot of the talk is, right now they still have this whole thing going with Drew Brees that maybe they might want to do a PR move here and sign him to a big contract.
Right.
Because, they need. First of all, they don't have a coach. Remember that.
Right.
Without Peyton, they have their defensive coordinator, I believe, is Spagnola, who just came over from the Rams after being fired. So he doesn't even know the players or the system, really. And basically, Breeze is going to be the offensive coach de facto. It's going to be interesting. Now, Peyton, when he's suspended for a year, it's without pay.
Wow.
7.5 mil.
Whoa, I did not realize that. That's incredible.
So
it's a lot of money to lose.
Save some money.
Yes, didn't cash those checks before they were actually cashed. He could be in some hot water about that. Breeze, if he wanted to be a jerk about this, could probably ask for more money because he could say, hey, why would I want to come back to a team without a coach and all this turmoil? Let me get a fresh start somewhere else. Do you think Breeze will do that and try to up the bar?
Have they put a franchise tag on him or no?
I believe they've not at this point, but they might do it soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then they got like Marquise Colston guy.
Yeah.
I just have to throw his name and then it comes.
Yeah, I remember his name now.
I don't know what they're going to do, and it's going to be one of those things where we'll see once the year rolls around. Greg Williams, he's pretty much done for, who knows how long. His suspension indefinitely. He's already done some damage control with the commissioner. He's come, I guess made, some few different statements about, what happened, and we'll see what happens there. But he, I guess Joe Gibbs is lucky that he's retired, because who knows if they would have kept digging back to Washington when Greg Williams was here.
Yeah, that's a good point about that.
Hi, Andy. You're on with Raphael. How you doing?
I'm doing swell, Raphael. That rhymes, by the way.
I wanted to get your maybe some tips. I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Jordan Farmar from the New Jersey Nets in about an hour and 20 minutes, and I know that you did extensive work with him for your book. So can you just tell me what kind of guy I'm going to be talking to? Is he laid back? What am I going to be looking?
Oh yeah, he's a laid back guy who really loved his time in Israel, and his stepfather's from Tel Aviv originally. He loved playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's he's been out the last few nights, I guess.
Right, the groin injury.
Sore groin, which I don't know how detailed you want to get with that, but sounds painful. But yeah, no, really good guy, and like I said, he really enjoyed. Because it was kind of disappointing the other night where you had Cleveland playing New Jersey.
Yeah.
The only two Jewish players in the league going up against each other, and Farmar doesn't play, and Caspi, well, I don't know, looking at his stat line, apparently he didn't play either.
Ouch. Now, you had an interview, though, with, are you about to have an interview with Omri Moshe, or that already occurred?
Yeah, no, I'm about to.
About to have it. Okay. All right, excellent.
I just keep saying I'm about to. I know it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, it has to be. You keep saying it. So, interview with Omri, you could ask him about why did he not play so well or play really at all because Jordan didn't play and didn't want to upstage him. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what it was. Maybe it was like Jewish Pride Night, and he figured with one of the Jews out, he didn't feel as much pride. So I don't know. Unfortunately, both games he plays here, there's a Shabbat conflict.
Of course.
So we won't be able to wave our Israeli flags for him. But yeah, no, Farmar's a great guy, and I think it's interesting. I think he's on the second of his third 3-year deal.
Yeah.
With the Nets.
3 years, $12 million.
Whenever you Google Farmar, it's always a lot of let's bring Farmar back to
Maccabi.
The Lakers.
Oh, Lakers. Okay.
Well, he did win 2 titles.
I don't know. What's that?
2-time NBA champion with the Lakers.
Right. Well, and part of the book that I wrote was that, he played high school, college, and professionally all in Los Angeles. So
Right, high school, college, that's right. One of the things I think, if you get a chance to ask him about this, I would ask, he likes to play, he likes to try out different things and play. He played in Israel, but I don't know how you would phrase this the right way without, hurting his feelings, but he goes from the top of this league, which is a lower league here in Israel, and then he goes to the Nets.
Right.
I don't know how you phrase it. Andy, give a tip to Raphael. How do you ask that question nice way? And did you ask him that question for your book?
He loved playing in for Maccabi. He does consider it one of the best, teams in the world. I mean, he clearly said that. It's an interesting point because he basically, I guess you could really say the same thing about going from the Lakers to the Nets. You go from a situation where you're always in a, you're
winning.
Always regarded as one of the best teams, always, title talks, and then you go to the Nets. I mean, I guess the best thing you have about the Nets is that they're moving to Brooklyn. I don't know.
Yeah, I was also going to say, I mean, being in or playing in, actually just simply being in New Jersey, that's got to be a rough stench to deal with.
Yeah, except that you're 5 minutes from New York City. So I'm sure a professional athlete can make his way across that GW bridge.
Now, speaking of New York City, I said this already in the program, and I said it to you off the air, but I'm going to say it for a third time. Tim Tebow coming to New York City, coming to JTS Jets.
Wait. When did that happen?
And
that must have missed the news.
Yeah, well, apparently I know someone personally that broke it. I thought it was broken on Yahoo, but apparently someone else broke it that I know. Now,
there's always something breaking on Yahoo.
Yeah. And we had Mark Spears from Yahoo yesterday. He didn't tell us anything about it. I think he knew the inside scoop. But I gotta say, a good Christian boy in New York City. I don't know if that's a good idea for him.
I don't know. The joke was that he always is he's a big preacher of abstinence.
Right.
And I believe Cromartie has 12 kids or something.
With like 11 different women. We should note that as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be his first goal is to maybe wrap him up or something. Who knows?
Maybe start reading the Bible to him. I don't know, but and then again,
it'll be interesting because they say he works perfect because Milano was the Wildcat genius in Miami. He's now the offensive coordinator. He'll know exactly what to do with him. Blah, blah, blah. That's great until the Jets lose 3 games in a row. And
so you think it's 3? I said 1, and OCG said 2. I think just 1. I think they go 0-1 right away. People calling in New York City talk. We got to get rid of this Marky Mark. He's just not. He's a pretty boy. He's not ready to play. We got to put in Jesus and let him do his magic and get to work and make some miracles happen here.
Well, the problem is that they just signed Marky Mark to a big,
Yeah, that's another thing I can't figure out. They gave him guaranteed $25 million. That's what I was told.
Yeah, that would be an issue.
Yeah, so you can't just bench guy that much.
What's interesting is the Broncos, you see they gave Tebow the option of where they wanted to go with him. And he chose New York.
So it's his idea. Wow.
Yeah, they gave him the option of either Jacksonville or the Jets. And many, many people said, thought he was going to go to Jacksonville, which is where he's from. But, it'll be interesting. Dan Patrick said that Tebow's like the guy that always says exactly what you want to hear.
Right.
Every press conference is perfect.
He's the Derek Jeter of the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Except he hasn't, he's 5 championships shy, but outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little 5 thing.
They're asking who would still give the headline. Would it be Lynn Sanity or Tebow Sanity or whatever you want to call it? And the clear answer for everyone was Tebow.
Right.
That, he's a polarizing sports figure.
Well,
And,
Jimmy Fallon had that great sketch with Saturday Night Live, and Saturday Night Live does mostly really bad sketches, so I have to point that out. There was a good one of the Tebow-y, where David Bowie's singing the song about a conversation between Jesus and Tim Tebow. It's very funny. Tebow now could step into Midtown Manhattan and host Saturday Night Live or be a guest. He probably will. He will probably be on Saturday Night Live some point this season to kind of mock Saturday Night Live, making fun of Tim Tebow. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and he'll have all kinds of things. I mean, he will be on commercials and guest appearances and TV shows, and I mean, yeah, it's a perfect situation for him. And all the while, he'll be spreading the gospel.
And again, I heard this point in the green room. To give multi-million-dollar endorsements to a backup quarterback only in New York City, right?
Only in New York City, and only to Tim Tebow. I mean, who else is can? I mean, can you name someone else? I mean, how many backup quarterbacks can you name in the league? I mean, honestly.
Well, Kevin Cobb in Arizona is a backup quarterback, in my opinion. So I guess that's one.
I know, but who's Tom Brady's backup?
It was Doug Flutie at one point. Okay, so I know one of Tom's
my God.
backup. Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Stanton from Michigan State was their backup.
It's Michigan State.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're my team, though, so that's why I know that. But, okay, so...
I can tell you, I mean, without knowing the team, quote-unquote, intimately, I mean, I could tell you who Washington's is. I couldn't tell you who the Dallas's is, though. It was John Kitna, but he retired. I mean, Washington's going to be in a unique situation because they're going to have RG3 and RG3. So what do you think of that?
Hopefully one of them will be able to get the Redskins more than 3 wins this season.
Well, because that's the funny thing. Rex Grossman is actually Rex Grossman III, so he would be RG3 also.
Maybe that's why his dad sent those flowers to that guy from Around the Horn, because it's like, hey, this is not just my son. He's got the same name as me.
That's right. What was his name? God. Yeah, I know exactly what. Jay Mariotti?
Yeah, that's it.
From Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
Who really hated Rex Grossman. But Raphael...
Oh, my God.
Raphael was chopping the bit. Go ahead.
I just want to talk to you about the upcoming baseball season. It starts pretty soon, in about 10 days. The Washington Nationals just announced that Strasburg will be their opening day pitcher. This national team is expected to make some noise this year in the NL East for the first time ever. And they have a pretty solid pitching staff if you look at it. They made some trades in the offseason. They have some good young guys. They brought up their catcher. I'm just blanking his name, or they're probably going to bring him up, who was as well a first pick in the first round. What are your thoughts, or what are you looking forward to in this upcoming season? Do you think the Nationals will compete?
They'll compete, but I mean, look, the difference between them making the playoffs and not, honestly, I think was Prince Fielder.
Okay.
Look, they still have the Phillies in their division. So
Absolutely.
While I think they were the only team last year with a winning record against the Phillies, I don't know how long that's going to hold. The Phillies are a little banged up. They're going to have to take advantage early. But you got to remember, the Marlins went on a spending spree.
Absolutely,
and
right.
have added,
great pitching,
a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
And the Braves, even though they choked it away last year, haven't really changed anything. And they were the one game away from wild card. It's not going to be easy. They definitely are a better team. Bryce Harper,
Bryce Harper, the catcher.
I mean, he's going to probably play outfield for the Nats. He was just designated for AAA.
Right.
That's a contractual thing because if you know how the baseball contracts work, if they keep him in AAA for, I think, 25 games this year, they get an extra year when it comes to his rookie contract being up. So he'll be in AAA till probably, barring any injuries or anything, till probably the end of September. End of April, early May, about 23 games or something. The only problem with Strasburg and, naming him the number one pitcher, which, look, he is the number one pitcher, but we all know his arm is weak.
Right, he's...
and if they make... if they make a deep run, they're going to have to shut him down. They already know that in like late August, early September. So I'm a little shocked that they started off because they could have gotten an extra couple weeks maybe. And I'm sure he will get extra rest days here and there. They're going to try to stretch him out as long as possible. But, I mean, if he starts opening day, that puts him as like the starter, I believe, for the second or third game back in Washington, which is the opening, series here, which could be just a move that makes it so that they can just sell more tickets.
Right, yeah.
It does bring in people. So, look, they're going to contend that last year I think they were one game under 500, which is their best season ever. And, it's going to be an exciting year for them. They've got Yankees are coming in town this year for the first time in a while. They've created this rivalry between Washington and Philly because when they first started, they were begging Phillies fans to come down to Washington to buy tickets because it was so close and, it was a way to sell tickets because no one was going to the game. Last year, the Philly series looked like home series between the two teams, and it really kind of got under the skin of the Lerners and the Nationals management. They started this thing where in order to buy, you ready for this?
Ready.
In order to buy Nationals Phillies tickets, when you purchase your tickets, your zip code has to be in Maryland, D.C., or Virginia only.
Wow.
In order to buy tickets to the series.
I'll tell you, I'm a Blue Jay fan. I've been to about 10 Yankees Blue Jays games in Rogers Center in Toronto, and there are much, much more Yankee fans that drive up from Buffalo or upstate New York. So I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is in Baltimore
right.
with the Yankees, even the Sox in Baltimore.
Right.
It's the same way. And, I mean, I went to Orioles game a couple of years right before I came to Israel, and it was, it was all Yankees fans. And I know last year, I think between the two series that, I think the Orioles ended with the Yankees and Red Sox, and everyone I knew was either a Yankees fan or Red Sox fan would go into the series because they were giving the ticket for that by the end of the year. So they put this in place. Now, that only goes to the end of March. So you have basically this Philly blackout until the end of March, and then
right.
see what happens.
It's kind of interesting, and I told you I'm a big fan of the Jays. You look at the NL East and the AL East, and it's suddenly very, very similar. You have the Braves, Phillies, and the Marlins, who have been in the playoffs, have won, and in the AL East, you have the Red Sox, the Yankees, and, of course, Tampa. So the Blue Jays and the Nationals are very similar. They're very young, very talented. The pitching staff on the Blue Jays is one of the best pitching staffs in the league that no one really knows about. They have some really young hitters. They have some veteran hitters. So I just think that's kind of cool that the NL East is that's kind of been the knock for a long time, is that the AL East is by far the best division in baseball in the last couple of years, especially with the emergence of Tampa. But now you can maybe look at the NL East with the emergence of the Nationals.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, if they can get some production out of work, they could definitely be a competitive, very competitive team. And, like you said, I mean, I think the NL East is definitely a little bit more up for grabs, when it comes to can the Nats, sneak in there. I think they have a better chance of sneaking in than the Blue Jays and the Orioles, just because, look, the Mets are dead, so that's not really an issue right now. But, it's just the AL East has become so top-heavy. The three are so top-heavy. No one knows how the Marlins are going to respond. I mean, with Ozzie as the manager, and, it can be crazy down there before, it all ends up. And the same thing could happen to the Red Sox with Bobby Valentine. He's very different. Who knows over time how his message is going to come across. So that'll be interesting. But, yeah, look, I mean, people are excited about the Nats, it's become an event, something to go to, which you couldn't say before. I actually bought. There's the last preseason game. They're doing spring training. It's not really. I don't even know if it counts in spring training or whatever. But they're playing at home. They're playing the Red Sox in the exhibition, the last game, and I bought tickets to that just to go. And my son's going to opening day as part of a birthday party group. So
sounds fun.
There's
cool.
People are like really into it, and it's gonna, as they say, see how many curly W's they can put up. And the pitching staff is young, and Strasburg is good, but you got Jordan Zimmerman. They've added some bullpen experience with they added Brad Lidge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Just to kind of mentor more than anything else. So it'll be interesting. I can't wait personally to see Papelbon come out of the Phillies bullpen. Ari, is Ari still alive? Is he still awake?
Yeah, we got to wrap it up because we have another guest coming on.
You got to listen to my story first.
Sure.
Papelbon, right? You remember him?
Yes.
Jonathan Papelbon. Well, did you hear that the Dropkick Murphys have told him he is not allowed to come out of the bullpen to their song?
Oh, my God.
That's hilarious. I'm not surprised, but...
There you go. That's that Boston thing, So they've told him do not think about coming out. They will sue him for some sort of copyright or will sue the Phillies or something.
I might play that song on the show at some point, maybe next week or something, have them try to sue me because I'll take the press. All right, Andy, we'll let you go.
Hey, have a good one.
All right, be well. Author of Modern Day Maccabees, Andy Gershon.
Bye, Andy.
All right.
See you, Rob.
We're going to take a break, a quick 1-minute break here, and we'll bring on Dwayne Mitchell on the other side of this one. It's Louis Live in Israel, sportsradio.com.
Offering the best of Israel at the best price, Shalom Israel Tours can help you make your next trip to Israel the adventure of a lifetime. Shalom Israel Tours will customize a trip to Israel for your family or group. Specializing in bar mitzvah packages, outdoor adventure vacations, wine tours, and more, Shalom Israel Tours is sure to inspire. So whether you're looking for a customized trip, a day tour, or a car rental, Shalom Israel Tours is here to help. Email us at inspire@shalomisraeltours.com or click the banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage, and soon you will find yourself in Israel. That's Shalom Israel Tours, www.shalomisraeltours.com.
Back here on Louis Live, dialing up our next guest here. Thanks to Andrew Gershman, the author of Modern Day Maccabees. Dialing up Dwayne Mitchell. And, of course, this is live, so we hope he is able to pick up here. And if not, we'll go to another break.
Hello.
Hi, is this Dwayne?
Yes.
Hi, Dwayne. This is Ari Louis with Israel Sports Radio. You're live on Louis Live. How you doing out there?
Hi, I'm fine. How you doing?
Doing great. And, it was a lot of fun to see you in that All-Star game a few weeks ago. Of course, there was a live band during the game. I thought that was a little weird. I haven't seen that too often in my days of watching basketball in America. Did that affect you at all? What did you think about the band playing while you were playing basketball?
No, it didn't affect me. I was surprised to see a live band also, but it was good. It was nice that the fans enjoyed it, and that was all thought about. It was really for the fans to put on the show for them guys.
Hi, Dwayne. You're on with Raphael. How you doing down there in Ashkelon?
I'm fine. How are you?
We're good. We're very excited to have you on. So let's start this interview. I just kind of wanted to ask you the first question. We had Alex Tice on a couple weeks ago. We asked him the same thing. Your city's actually closer to the Gaza Strip. So how has it been for you to deal with all these rockets constantly coming to the city that you play in? How has that affected you mentally? And what about American guys on your team, Marco Killingsworth, other guys? What do you guys think about this? How is this affecting you?
Well, it's been affecting our games because we haven't been playing, and so that kind of it puts a hurt on us because sometimes we're forced to leave to move to Tel Aviv, stay in a hotel for a couple of days, and it kind of breaks up the rhythm of our team. We had a good little rhythm going and a good chemistry, but with the bombs, everybody's getting nervous. You don't never know what to expect, and at the same time, you have mixed emotions because we all have family at home in the United States,
right?
But we all love our team, and love the city that we play in, and so we want to do we want to do our best and what we can, to provide some kind of joy and happiness for that city. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we also think about making it home safe,
right?
Because we all have fun at home, so it's kind of having mixed emotions. You want to stay and just bring some kind of joy where they forget about the bombs and things like that, but at the same time, you want to make sure you get home to your family.
Right. And speaking of family, home, and all that, I'm sure you talk to your family all the time, or friends or whatever. When they first, actually, let's rewind. When they first heard, you've been in Israel for a while now. You've been on 3 different teams. When you first signed, I think with Hapoel Cholon, when you told your family, "I'm going to Israel," what was their first reaction?
It was, by the time I signed in Holon, I heard a lot about Israel, and it was, for the most part, I heard that it was a real nice place. That there was no trouble for Americans or things like that. That all people wanted you to do is just come in and do your job. Just focus on basketball, and all the other problems like that. That I didn't hear anything about no bombs or nothing like that.
Right.
But I had an opportunity to come to Israel, out of college. Once I left college, but I told the other friends I was scared to come to Israel because at the time I was thinking, war and things like that. So, but after a couple of years went by, I had a couple of friends that played out here, and they was told me like it's nothing what you hear about on TV or nothing like that. So they only tell you bad things on TV, on television. So, so of course, that's in every country, everything. They always going to show you something bad. They're not going to really show you all the good things.
Right.
So after hearing a couple of people, and tell me their experience, so I was happy to come here.
Great. That was very, very well said. So in 2009, you joined Hapoel Cholon. I believe you won the Israeli Super League championship that year. I think so. Then you went to Maccabi Rishon LeZion, and now you're in Ashkelon. So as you said it seems that you like Israel. You've stayed here. I'm sure you've had opportunities to go to other countries or back to the States and try out the NBA again. You were on the Lakers for a little stint, then you played in the D-League. I guess why have you stayed here? You seem to really like it here?
Yeah, I really do like it. It's, to me, it reminds me so much of Los Angeles because of California, because of the weather. I love the beach.
Right.
I love the weather, and the people here are really nice people. That's really hard to find. I was in France, and there are some really nice people in France. There are some really, really mean people and rude people in France. So, but this place, it was, and the fact that people speak English here is so good and clear, it makes it a lot easier, to transition to come here. And I really like that is a small country, that you can play a road game, but you can go back home the same day. In most countries, you go play a road game, you're going to leave maybe a day or two ahead, spend a night in a hotel, take a long bus ride. I don't miss those long bus rides.
Okay. Now I just kind of want to ask you more about the culture stuff. You're from the South, I believe. I can confirm. I know you went to school in Louisiana. So in the South, people love their food. I was just in Memphis this summer, and the food there is amazing. Can you tell us can you compare maybe the food to what you grew up in the South to the food in Israel? All the Israeli food, the falafel and hummus, and is that kind of stuff you like, or what? Do you miss food at home?
For the most part, I don't like the food. I may eat a falafel every now and then with some chicken. Anything that I can do with chicken, most likely. I think you can't really go wrong with chicken too much. So I just try to Americanize the food as much as possible. So most of the time I'm cooking at home.
Okay.
So if I go out, I'm going to eat something like a burger or steak or something like that. I'm really picky with food. I'm real picky with food. I love spicy food because I'm from New Orleans. A lot of Cajun food, a lot of spice. So I try to find as much spicy food as possible.
Right, and it's funny you mentioned that. We were joking around with Courtney Fells. We had him on a couple weeks ago, and he tweeted at 2 a.m. that he was driving like 45 minutes to the nearest KFC because he had to get his KFC. So we just thought that was funny that he was willing to make that drive. He actually said the same thing as you. It's kind of interesting. A lot of the guys we've had on have not really been big fans of the food, and a lot of guys have cooked in their houses. So that's interesting to point out. The next thing I want to ask you is I'm a huge college basketball fan. I was a big fan of Raymar Morgan, and I watched the game when he slipped. I felt horrible. I knew as soon as he fell something was bad. I'm sure you've probably talked to him. Can you give us an update on what's going on with him? Is he coming back to Ashkelon? Is he signing with a different team, or what's really going on with him since the injury?
Right now, I just know that he's back at home in the States. He's working out, getting better. I think he's just starting to be able to run now. So he's taking it one day at a time. He's still not 100%, but I think he's close. He may have like another couple of weeks, maybe about another 3 weeks, and I think he'd be all the way 100%. But as far as I don't know, if he's going to sign back with Ashkelon next year. But I know he won't be returning for the rest of the season.
Okay, so
I think he don't want to take that chance. He want to make sure that he's all the way healthy, so he can have a complete full season for next year, wherever he decides to play.
Oh, because I remember when it was first reported in the press here and the media here, they were saying that he'd probably be back actually now. So that's why I wanted to get the inside scoop and find out what was going on with him. Like I said, I've always been a big fan of the Michigan State program, and it's good to hear he's doing better. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is I see a lot on Twitter. I follow a lot of you guys on Twitter. You guys like to all meet up and go out in Tel Aviv, and we talked to Alex about this, Alex Tyson. He said that a lot of the guys, what they do is they usually meet in Tel Aviv because if you're in the north or you're in the south, the center is Tel Aviv. So could you tell us on off nights or whenever you don't have a game, what do you like to do in Israel, maybe not necessarily in Ashkelon, but anywhere in Israel? What are your favorite places you've been to in the last few years that you've been here?
It's been the beach. The beach. We'll meet up Tel Aviv, go to the mall, beach. Just hang out. Maybe go to a friend's house or something like that. Just try to sit around and make it feel like we all at home, just for that time being. When we all together, we kind of forget that we're in Israel. We have a bunch of guys here that likes to joke.
Great.
So it's just the main thing. We all really get around to joke on each other, and that kind of we try to do anything to pass the time here. Because we have to make this as fun as possible for each other. So I think whenever we meet up, we all help each other at that time when we meet up. Just to try to give each other a peace of mind, get away. Not talk about basketball because we deal with basketball all day, every day. And those times when we meeting up, it's like a time for us to take a break to put everything else on the side and just find a way to have fun.
Right, and as we were watching the All-Star game, my co-host and I noticed you were always joking around with even the ref, with whoever you could, so you seem like you're a guy who likes to joke around.
Yeah, I love to joke. I love to joke.
Okay, the next question is, there's been some rumors going on lately that the N1 Live Tour is potentially going to be making a stop next October in Israel. So let's say you are still in Israel. I'm not sure what your contract is for the upcoming season. What are your thoughts on hearing the N1 is going to be coming to Israel? Would you go check it out? Would you want to be on the team that would play against all the N1 guys?
Nah, I wouldn't want to be on the team. Nah, I'll sit there and watch other people make a fool of themselves.
Okay.
Nah, I'm not going to do that. You know, it's for the fans. I think people enjoy it.
Right.
Know? I think Israel would enjoy it, you know, to see all the donks and everything, all the tricks and all that. But I think it'll be, those guys really put on the show.
Absolutely.
I've seen it before, and they really put on the show, and it's really entertaining. So I think anybody who loves basketball and loves entertainment, you'll be really entertained, you know, if you go see the show whenever they get out here.
So Dwayne, we can put you down for one ticket to be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Last question, because we're running out of time. I just want to ask, you guys have had a pretty good season. You have a lot of good players on your team. What are your goals for the season, and where could we expect Dwayne Mitchell to be next year, and what are your future goals as a basketball player?
Well, our goal for the season is to win a championship.
Okay.
That's it. You know, we don't want to settle for anything less but a championship. You know, we don't want to be second. Because second ain't nothing but the first place. So we want to be in the championship, make it to the championship, and win the championship. And, you know, as a team, you know, we want to just all try to stay healthy as possible, you know, to achieve that goal. Me, you know, I can't really say where I'll be next year because, you know, I really don't know. I just leave it up, you know, I leave it up to God. You know, let Him help, you know, make my decisions, give me, you know, find out what kind of opportunities I have. You know, if it's, you know, me coming back to Israel, then if that's the, you know, best thing for me in my career, that's what I plan on doing. And for the future, I just want to be the best player that I can be. You know, that's my future goal as a basketball player, to be the best player I can be. Not the player that everybody, you know, that people want me to be, you know, or play the type of game that people want me to play. I just want to be the, you know, play the best way that I can and showcase my talent to the best of my ability.
Okay, great.
All right, Dwayne, we certainly appreciate the time. We'll see you, I'm sure, playing basketball here in Israel, and we appreciate the time tonight on Louis Live.
Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, a lot of fun, Dwayne. Be well.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, that was Dwayne Mitchell of Irene Ashkelon. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, Jazz and Marcus from the Cornell Sun. You're listening to Louis Live in Israel, sportsradio.com.
Offering the best of Israel at the best price, Shalom Israel Tours can help you make your next trip to Israel the adventure of a lifetime. Shalom Israel Tours will customize a trip to Israel for your family or group. Specializing in bar mitzvah packages, outdoor adventure vacations, wine tours, and more, Shalom Israel Tours is sure to inspire. So whether you're looking for a customized trip, a day tour, or a car rental, Shalom Israel Tours is here to help. Email us at inspire@shalomisraeltours.com or click the banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage, and soon you will find yourself in Israel. That's Shalom Israel Tours, www.shalomisraeltours.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice
If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here in Lewis Live, our next guest is from the Cornell Sun, the former host of Jump Shots with Jasmine Marcus. Jasmine, how you doing out there?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great. And before you and Rafi battle out the details of the bracket, I picked Duke to lose to Lehigh. You laughed at me last week, and what are your thoughts now?
As soon as I saw that they were winning, I was like, I have to tell Ari that he was right.
All right. Yes. Okay. It feels good when someone who went to Cornell says that I was right. Of course, because I went to Arizona State. Cornell was my safety school. So what do you think was the big secret to Lehigh's success over Duke?
I don't even know. I'm still kind of shocked by that. I think it is a combination of what you said, that Duke was just overrated, and Lehigh went on a run. And what's interesting is that they lost to Cornell earlier this year, and this isn't even like a great Cornell team this year, so it's not like, I wouldn't even say they've had an extraordinary season until this point. So they kind of just got lucky and got excited, I guess, and we're up to the challenge, and it was really cool. I was hoping they were going to beat Xavier too, but unfortunately that fell through in the second half.
Hi, Jasmine. You're on with Raphael. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Lots to talk about. Unfortunately, we only have 9 minutes. We've kind of run, our shows have been crazy, but let's talk about what happened real quick, and then what's going to happen. So, what was more shocking to you, the Duke loss or the Missouri loss?
I still think the Duke loss.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell because on the other, at least people have kind of heard of Lehigh and their conference, and Norfolk State, I think, was more the school that everyone was just like, "What is that?"
Right.
And
Absolutely.
you know, a lot of people had Missouri in their I didn't, but a lot of people had Missouri in their Final Fours, and probably more so than people had Duke.
I did, yeah.
And so, actually, I'm going to say that the Norfolk State was kind of the bigger surprise, although they got blown out in their next game, whereas
Right.
I think Lehigh kind of put up a fight.
Yeah, the 84 to 50. You're absolutely right. In the Florida game, it was over in the first 10 minutes, and yeah, Lehigh played a lot better. So, yeah, that's a good point. Everyone on the show we've had has said Missouri, but now that you've mentioned that, yeah, like, who's Norfolk State? Who even plays in them? Lehigh, at least people know where they're from, what conference they're from. So, good point there. Let's also talk about, I don't know if you got a chance to watch a lot of the games. We know you're very busy. We had this Indiana VCU game where VCU did not, I think they scored 4 points in the last 12 minutes and still almost won. Of course, Indiana now is battling Kentucky this Friday at 10 p.m. in Atlanta, which is a very strange tip-off time if you think about it. I'm not really sure what they were thinking there. That game's going to go to 12 Eastern. But this game's huge in Indiana, probably even bigger in Kentucky because of the revenge factor. What are you looking forward to in this game?
I'm looking to see if Kentucky manages to kind of keep the momentum and keep winning when I don't really like the way they play in the later rounds of the tournament. I think the players start to I've seen on different teams sort of check out a little bit and be focusing on how most of them are going to be dropping out and going to the NBA soon.
Absolutely.
And I like Indiana's momentum, so I don't really like Kentucky as a team. I'm not rooting for them, but I think that they are the better team and that they probably will come out ahead of that one.
Okay, but let's not forget the Hoosiers beat them, but the Kentucky team has had about 3 months to improve. All the freshmen are now technically about to become seniors, or sophomores, except we all know, as you mentioned there, that's not ever going to happen. They're all going to go to the NBA. Okay, so great stuff there. Another kind of interesting thing going on here is Ohio. Ohio has been represented by 4 teams in the Sweet 16. The surprise one obviously being, you could say Xavier, but really Ohio. Ohio, a lot of people don't really know much about this team. Of course, they beat Georgetown a couple of years ago with Armand Bassett, who's a transfer from IU. But Ohio, first of all, knocked off Michigan. Then they had kind of an easier game in the third round against South Florida. But I don't know. What do you think of just in general the state of Ohio getting 4 teams in the Sweet 16? Do you think? Well, how many? Let's ask a better question. How many do you think will be left in the Elite Eight?
I think Ohio has a real chance against North Carolina, especially with Kendall Marshall's surgery.
Right.
And I cannot see any way in which he would play on Friday after the surgery. I think Xavier has. I don't know. I think that Ohio State's going to win. So that you have 2 right there.
Right. Of course, Ohio State's playing
I think
Cincinnati.
Xavier has a good chance to win against Baylor. I think you could end up with most of the teams making it to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, that'd be cool if 3 out of the 4 made it, because of course Ohio State's playing Cincinnati, so one of them's going to have to say goodbye. But no, that's just a really cool for Ohio. But sometimes back in the days it used to be Indiana, the years where Notre Dame, Butler, Purdue. That hasn't happened this year. It's kind of weird how it works. Butler this year wasn't that good. Yeah. IU wasn't good for a while. But this year Indiana had 3 teams in the tournament, so that was kind of cool. I remember we talked a lot about you and I talked about the Vanderbilt-Harvard game, and Harvard they played well. They almost pulled it off, but they did not pull it off. But still, it was a very good effort. First time in the tournament in a billion trillion years. I don't know much about this Harvard team. Do you think they have a chance to repeat next year as the conference champions of the Ivy League, or are is your Cornell team going to bounce back, or what's going to happen next year?
I don't know if they can bounce back this quickly, but I think Harvard does have a good chance of being successful next year. I've heard rumors about Tommy Amaker going to South Carolina and a few other schools looking at him.
So that would hurt. That would hurt.
It'll be interesting to see whether they keep him or not, because I think he's played a major part in recruiting a lot of the players that they have, and I wonder if some people would leave if he left, or if they wouldn't be able to pull in the same caliber of players. So
very good point.
But I think if he comes back, and yeah, they definitely would have a shot making it again next year.
Okay, and we actually had a writer from the New York Daily News a couple days ago who kind of told us inside scoop on Zach Rosen. He was invited to the Portsmouth tournament, which is held every year.
Okay.
So that's very exciting. I remember you telling us, you kind of told us about it, and then I did the research. He's being compared now to Jeremy Lin, has kind of similar statistics, considered very, very smart. And in Israel, there's a lot of talk about him among the real basketball fanatics, especially the Maccabi fans who are saying, you know what, if he doesn't make the NBA, we'd be glad to take him. A nice Jewish boy with Rosen as his last name. So yeah, you've seen him play live or not? Or
I have, but it was a couple of years ago, so more when he was probably like a sophomore or freshman.
Did you see anything as a huge basketball fanatic that you are? Did you say to yourself, wow, this guy could be good, or what? I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, he has a very incredible will to win, I would say.
Okay.
And this is he's been on a Penn team that hasn't been, aside from him, very outstanding. They haven't, this year they almost made a run kind of at the end for Harvard's spot at the top. But in previous years, they were kind of more in the middle of the league. But he's still been I think he's been player of the year a few times, and it's almost like he compensates for the rest of the team being so mediocre, and he really has been a standout there. I would say that I hope if he were to not make the NBA and he were to end up in Israel, I would hope that he wouldn't end up in Maccabi, because it seems like David Blatt doesn't like to play people in their first year, as we saw with my friend Jeff, we saw with John Shire this year.
Yeah.
So it seems to me, Zach Rosen could come in and sit on the bench and then be traded to some other team for part of the year. And I think he would do better if he went to almost any other team.
Speaking of that league, we just had Dwayne Mitchell from Ashkelon on, of course.
I heard the end of the interview.
Oh, right. So you were here last year, for our listeners who forgot. So that's just cool. So we pretty much have 30 seconds. So I just want to ask you, Jasmine, how is your Final Four doing right now in the bracket?
It's doing. I have all of them still there. I have Kentucky, Ohio State, UNC, and Michigan. I have UNC winning the whole thing, which isn't looking so good right now.
Right.
But
cool.
Besides that,
right, I'm actually rocking a Tar Heel shirt for support. I actually had problems with my scaphoid in my wrist as well, so I'm wishing the best of luck to Kendall Marshall. Jasmine Marcus, thank you so much for coming on. Of course, we're going to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to have you on next week, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
To talk about everything that happened this weekend. So have a good day, and great talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Okay, so now we have a special extended hour. We're going to be interviewing Coach Ben Bronson. We're going to go to commercial break, and we come back. We're going to be interviewing the Rice Owls head coach, former coach of the California Bears, the Berkeley Bears, Pac-12 team. So we'll be right back after the commercial.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S. U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Okay, we're back here on Louis Live. We're waiting for Coach Ben Braun to pick up right now. He seems to not be picking up.
Hey, this is Tanner. Sorry I couldn't get you a call.
1 second. We might have been given the wrong phone number here. We're going to go back on commercial until we figure this all out.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequency.
Back right now on Louis Live. We're going to try Coach again and see if we can get a hold of him and see if we have the right number. Hello, am I speaking with Coach Ben Braun?
That's a good place to be if you want to listen to this.
Hello?
Yeah, I know. Hello.
Hi, am I speaking with Coach Ben Braun?
This is Ben Braun speaking. Yes, it is.
Hi, you're live right now on Louis Live. This is Raphael. How you doing out there?
I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're very great, excited to have you on. We just wanted to congratulate you for making it to the quarterfinals in the College Insiders Tournament. And let's get started with the interview. We want to kind of take a blast in the past. What we like to do with all the coaches we have on is kind of talk about their history and how they got to where they are now. So you are from Chicago, if I did my research correctly.
Yes, sir.
And then you went to play at Wisconsin, which...
I was at University of Wisconsin lacrosse my freshman year and transferred to University of Wisconsin, Madison. That's correct.
And how did you enjoy that experience in college? Did that help you decide you wanted to be a head coach? What was it like there in Madison?
Well, I actually was I gave up pretty much my playing career because I wasn't doing as well academically as I wanted to do. And when I finally made the decision to transfer, I really focused on my academics. And then as I got to be a pretty good student, that really was important. It was a motivation for me to continue working hard on my academics and get into a teaching degree, which is important. I wanted to go back eventually coach to get my teaching degree, and coach at the high school level was the next step for me. So that's kind of how I got into coaching.
Okay, and so then you decided to, I believe you became the head coach at Siena Heights. What was it like to go to a program that I believe at the time was in the NAIA? I'm not sure if that's correct. But
well, we were in NAIA school, but we were also went co-educational the year before I came. So it was quite a challenge just to start intercollegiate sports at that level. So I gave up a high school coaching job, pretty good one, to get to a kind of a low-level college job with the opportunity to get into college coaching. So it was an interesting start for me. I had a chance to make get a lot of experience. And I was there for 8 years and was able to help build our program actually in a very reputable NAI school. We had a lot of success, and from there I was able to move to Eastern Michigan University.
Right, and we're going to talk about that right now. So you were at Eastern Michigan University for 1 year as an assistant coach, and then you got promoted to the head coach. So what was it like going? Let's kind of look at this. You were at Siena Heights, then you were an assistant coach at Eastern Michigan for 1 year, and then suddenly you're the head coach. What was that transition like for you, going from such a small school to now being a head coach at a Division I program in the MAC? Did you feel a lot of pressure, recruiting-wise and basketball-wise? How is it different?
No, I think the experience at Siena Heights gave me the confidence and the knowledge on how to approach being a coach. I think once you're a coach, I don't care if it's a high school level, small college level, you get 8 years under your belt is being able to build a program. I did a lot of things. I did my own scouting. I did my own recruiting. Did a lot of the work to prepare our team. And so I got a hands-on experience. It's probably kind of an old-fashioned way to learn, but I learned the old-fashioned way, the hard way, on how to build a program and do everything, from the ground level up. So I was really fortunate that I had that experience. When I got to Eastern Michigan, all of a sudden it felt like we had great resources, and while the competitive level got higher, I felt the experience and the ability to take the resources I had and utilize that. It really made things better. So it was a good opportunity for me, and obviously I had some success at Eastern, but I would never have had that success if it wasn't for Siena Heights College.
Absolutely. So you can't, usually when you come to school, you kind of have to build it up. So you did that. And by your third year there, you did an amazing job. You guys, we're talking about the 1987-1988 season, which, wow, was a long time ago. But you guys went 14-2 in your conference, and you won the conference, and you actually went to the NCAA, which is really, really cool for a team in the MAC. Then this is for all those college basketball junkies out there who are listening. You guys made it to the Sweet 16 in '91. I kind of remember seeing clips of that tournament, and you guys were one of the surprises. What was that like, being the small school? We've seen it more and more lately, but let's be honest, back in the day, it was more of a surprise. It was more of a shock, and you guys made it to the Sweet 16. So what was it like for you and your team, and your players?
I appreciate you acknowledging that. It was quite a feat then, something you didn't see very often, that a mid-major school got all the way to a Sweet 16. And we did that. But we made such strides in our program. We were a program that had never really at the Division I level had never won. We were in last place when I first got there. We had never been to a postseason tournament. In our school, we weren't graduating our players. It was a tough job, tough challenge for me. But I thought the first thing I had to do was get a stable program and have players that were committed to not just being good basketball players, but good players off the floor and academically sound. So we did that. We brought in a solid group of guys and were able to turn things around pretty quickly, earn a national ranking, get to 3 tournaments actually in my tenure there.
Right.
Get some top 20 rankings. We were able to turn around and beat a Duke University, challenge Connecticut, play North Carolina, and very, very competitively, I might add, and beat a Penn State, beat a Mississippi State. Those were things that we were very proud of. And at the same time, we were able to get some guys in our program that advanced to play at the next level, the professional level, which was great. Grant Long played for the Miami Heat, and the Thomas Twins played in the NBA, and we were able to get some guys. Earl Boykins certainly had a great NBA career, so we were able to get some guys. That Derek Dial, another player, that were able to develop and play next level, and we were really pleased with our progress of the program.
That's really cool that you mentioned Earl Boykins. He's been one of my heroes. I grew up. Of course, I'm Jewish. I was 5'10", playing in Indiana. I grew up in Bloomington, Indiana, so I always had to play against a lot of big guys, a lot of guys right now who are playing Division I all across the country. So I always looked up to Earl Boykins. He was more than just a dunk guy. He could actually play the game. So that's very cool for me to hear that he was at Eastern Michigan. Okay, so let's move on a little. After that, you've got a great opportunity to become the head coach at California Berkeley after there was all that stuff going on with Todd Bozeman, I forgot how you pronounce it. So you actually left Eastern Michigan after winning the conference, making it to the second round. So it's always a great way to leave a program. You feel like you gave it your best, and you guys were 14-4 that year. So what was it like leaving? You were there for a while. It wasn't like, we've interviewed a lot of coaches on our programs. Sometimes people are there for short stints. But what I've noticed for you is you like to stay at your programs and make sure that they're really built really well. And I really respect that. What was it like leaving, a small community in Michigan to go to Berkeley, this big college and so much history in sports, maybe not basketball, but we'll talk about how you kind of brought that back. But what was it like leaving Michigan?
Well, like you said, I've been in Michigan 19 years, so obviously I built a lot of relationships there, and I've never taken a job and accepted a job where I didn't think that job would be my last job. I never looked at coaching as a stepping stone opportunity in my coaching career. I've always looked at each job as having a great opportunity, being in a great situation to coach. I've always enjoyed the purity of coaching and working with young players, and that's always been my goal. So it was really hard for me to leave both Santa Heights and Eastern Michigan because I've been in Michigan. Those are the 2 jobs that gave me my start in coaching. But when University of California called, it was really quite an opportunity to play at a very high level, one of the highest levels. And so it was an opportunity that I decided to take advantage of. I thought we had won 3 championships, been in 3 NCAA tournaments, and we had accomplished, quite a bit at Eastern Michigan. And, I thought if there was ever a time to leave, that would be the appropriate time.
Okay, great. So this is kind of the things that when I was doing my research, there was a lot of talk when you first came to Cal because of all the sanctions that your first year would be very, very unsuccessful and you'd kind of have to build the program up. But what's really interesting is you actually surprised everyone. You came in as a new coach, and you guys went 23-9, 12-6, and you went to the Sweet 16. So what was that like? Did that motivate you, hearing from all the media when you got there? Oh, this team is not going to compete because all the sanctions and there's young guys and all that. Like, how did you come to the locker room and say, listen, guys, I know I'm the new coach. I know you guys have been through a lot with your last coach, but I think we can unite this team and we can make a great run and we have great players. How did you go about doing that? 'Cause I'm very interested to hear that.
It was interesting because I just grew upon my experiences as a coach. I really felt that those seniors deserved an opportunity to have success. They've been through a lot in their 4 years, and I just said as our coach I was going to come in, and even though I didn't recruit that team, and maybe I was a newcomer to them, I was going to coach them like they were players that I've known over the time, and I respected that they deserved the opportunity to be successful. There certainly was some talent there. It just hadn't been realized. So I was very pleased to be able to have that opportunity to go in there and coach that group and get that group to perform at a maximum level. And the rest was history. We were able to get to a Sweet 16, and probably if we didn't lose our leading scorer, who was Ed Gray, and not only was he the leading scorer on our team, he was the leading scorer in the nation. And if we don't lose him to a broken foot, I think he had 48 points in over a little half of basketball against Washington State, and then he broke his foot. He probably would have had about 60 that night, but he was a prolific scorer. He goes out in the NCAA tournament, and as a result, we have to play against North Carolina, and we had led most of the game, but we weren't able to hold on. But I think we would have even gone further, maybe even to a Final Four. So it's just one of those things. But we're able to take the program at Cal and build up some success, have future years after the sanctions. We were able to come back and win a lot of games and build our program back up, which was a big challenge at the time.
Right, and something that's also, I talked earlier about the feat at Eastern Michigan where you got to the Sweet 16. Another thing that also wasn't college basketball. We've been talking about this on our show. College basketball has really changed in the last five years with all these mid-majors gaining more talent. But back in the days, doing some of the things that are being done now is a lot harder. So in the 1998-1999 team, this is just really crazy. You guys beat North Carolina, UCLA, and Arizona at the same time, or the same season, excuse me. Which that's just really cool. You look at those teams, North Carolina, we know what to expect from them, UCLA, and of course Arizona, which was led by Lute Olson. That's when they were having some of their very good teams. We actually had Josh Pastner on our show a couple weeks ago, so I believe he was either playing there or maybe an assistant at that time, so that's cool. The coolest thing is that you guys won the NIT championship, I believe, that year. What was that like? Of course, you were in the NCAA tournament four times at this point, and you were in the NIT as well in Eastern Michigan. But what was it like winning the NIT that year, where I believe it was kind of one of those years where you had a very, very good year, but you were 8-10, so you were kind of inconsistent, but you ended up winning the NIT championship. How was that?
Yeah, it was interesting because we had a good year. I thought I don't know when the last time a team beat 3 top 10 teams and didn't get in the NCAA with 20-plus wins, but we were one of them. So maybe the NCAA was still upset about the sanctions and about what happened, but we didn't get in there that year for whatever reason. So we decided as a group we would get in the NIT and then just work as hard as we can to be as successful as possible that year. And we, as it turned out, won the whole NIT, which was a great accomplishment for our program.
Absolutely.
And, it was important because we were just starting to get our program back. We had gone through the sanctions, and it was the first year we were able to come back and play without any penalties. We could attend a postseason. So we took the NIT as a challenge and as a reward, and we took it all the way to a national championship and beating Clemson in the championship in Madison Square Garden. A great experience. I think what that did is it paved the way for future success because we were going to accomplish at least 4 more opportunities to get to the NCAA following that NIT run, and I was very proud of that we used the NIT to help us get to 4 more NCAA tournaments.
Right, and just as you said, a great accomplishment was your first postseason tournament since 1959. So that was huge for your program. The tradition there has kind of been football. So like I said, you really brought basketball back to the school. We're going to just speed up a little because we're running out of time. We have about 6 minutes left, and there's a lot more great stuff I want to touch up on. So you made the postseason, I think, 8 out of the next 12 years, which is just very difficult to do. So Israel Sports Radio wants to just say a very, very good job. Then you moved on to Rice. So this is also very interesting to me. Rice is known, for all college guys out there, Rice is known as a baseball school. You make the transition to Rice, who's in the Conference USA. The first couple of years, you got to start at the bottom, but you've really built this program. You guys had a winning season this year. You finished 500 in Conference USA. What is it like? What was it like going from you're at California for a long time, and then you leave California. What was it like coming to Texas? How did the fans? How was the basketball atmosphere? What were you expecting when you got hired by the Rice Owls?
Well, it was fortunately for me. It was fortunate that I was at Cal because coming from a good institution academically to come to Rice helped prepare me for Rice University, and Rice is one of the premier academic schools in the country and in the world. So being at Cal was really a good preparation for me, and being able to get to an opportunity to coach at Rice, where much like Northwestern or Vanderbilt or Duke, it's that type of school. We had some challenges at hand. I came to a program that was previously, the year before, 3-27,
wow,
0-16 in the league. So to talk about a program that was down, it was probably not down; it was closer to being out, and so it was a tough challenge. But the school had also gone through a rebuilding process. Former coach there, Willis Wilson, who I happen to think was a very good coach. It had a tough job at hand because the school was having to play their games in a different arena. They didn't have a home arena that year, and so lost a lot of the fan base, lost a lot of the momentum that had happened years ago. And so, the program was down. And when I came in to take over, we had to kind of build it back up again. We had to go out and kind of reestablish recruiting ties and get some players in that can help us make sure we had good academic standing students that would, be qualified at Rice and do well and be good fits for Rice. But we were able to build it back up. We slowly built our program up. I think it went from 8 to 10 to 14 to this year, 19 wins. And so we've done that in, a little over now 3 years, going on our fourth year. But there are no quick fixes at a school like Rice. We're not going to recruit junior college players per se, and we didn't take any transfers. We just had to build it with solid freshmen that would become sophomores, that would become juniors, and then obviously this next year will become seniors. So we're very pleased that we're able to build the program up in this regard, and to get to a postseason this year was a great accomplishment. It was our first postseason in almost 10 years, and our first postseason win in almost 20 years, and the first time in school history that a Rice basketball team has won 2 postseason games. So we're really pleased about that, able to beat some good schools along the way, to be able to beat last year 2 LSU, to be able to beat Texas A&M on the road, TCU, almost get a chance to beat Texas. That's huge for our program. Beat a UTEP, beat a Memphis for the first time in school history. Those are big wins for our program. So we've really taken our program to another level, and hopefully we're putting ourselves in position to build for the future. So we're very proud of our accomplishments and the direction we're going.
Okay, great. One of the last things we want to talk about is the fact that you are one of the only Jewish head coaches in NCAA sports, to be honest. Basketball is right now leading the category. We just had Tony Levin from the University of Houston, who's also in the Conference USA. But in basketball, there's about, I think, 5 or 6, and we've had pretty much everyone. So we're very excited that you agreed to come on. Could we just get what's your connection with basketball and Judaism, and just how do you see it?
Well, I was fortunate, interestingly, to coach the Maccabee games in '89, and that was a big honor just to get back to Israel. I've been fortunate to visit Israel. It's always been a great spiritual trip and a journey for me. And I've coached Jewish players. I've coached different players from around the world. And, basketball is an international game, very popular in Israel, but very popular all across the world. And, it's given me an opportunity just to respect the differences in cultures and religions and of the players I've coached. And I've been proud that, to say that my upbringing, growing up as a Jewish kid in Chicago, was helpful, playing in BBYO and getting a chance to, go through Temple and learn some of the values I've learned, the importance of education, importance of teamwork, importance of family. Those things have helped me to become, I think, a better coach and a better mentor to the kids I coach. So I definitely think there's a correlation between my upbringing, my cultural, religious upbringing, and what we do and what I've done for a living. I've always tried to stay close to the community, both Jewish community, but also just a spiritual community, because it's important to give back. And at Rice, we're lucky. We're in a very multicultural and multi-diverse community. So it's been good for me. It's been important to have our players who have had success to be in a community that's welcoming and that respects cultural and religious differences. A lot of times that's not the case. But the places I've been have been very diverse backgrounds, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity that I've had, and I've hopefully used my experience, my upbringing, my family, some of the experiences I've gotten from my family members, grandfather, grandparents, parents, to be a better teacher, better educator. I'm fortunate I've been coaching long enough to win 600 games. That's a proud moment for me. I don't take that and say that makes me a better person or a better coach than anybody else. It just tells me that I've been around good kids, been around good players, and I've been in very supportive communities that have supported our cause, and I'm proud of the relationships I've had to be able to do that. I never got into coaching to win those amounts of games or stay in it as long. I got in it to enjoy the experience, but I've been fortunate to be in a great environments, and so hopefully I have a few more years to go, and we'll win some more games. But more important than winning, I just enjoy the experience of seeing the players that I coach win and be successful, to see them have successful families, maybe own or run successful businesses, or get a chance to go on and play professionally. That's really big. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that.
Wow, very well said. We have about 30 seconds left. We got to talk about how you had one of the stars on your team in 2002, I believe. I'm not sure if that's correct. Around that area was Amit Tamil, who's fully born in Israel, a very well-known Israeli player here who's playing pro basketball. Real quick, how is it like playing with Amit?
Well, it was great to coach both Amit Tamir and Shahar Gordon, who also was Israeli.
Right.
Both of those kids came from Israel, and they were, they not only were good basketball players, as I mentioned, coming from Israel, very well coached when they came to play for me and play for us at Cal, but they also were very sound students, intelligent guys that did well in school and helped our team win. So it was an honor to coach them. It was fun, and I'm still to this day stay in touch with those guys, and more so with Amit than I have Shahar, but I have spoken to both and just spoke with Amit recently, and I think Amit's going to end up being a coach. That's something he really wants to do, and who knows, I may discourage him from doing that. I don't always tell my former players to go into coaching. It's not as easy as it looks, but if he ends up doing that, I'll try to give him as much support as I can, because he was really one of the brighter players that I've ever coached, and always had a knack to understand the game, and I think translate it to other players. So if he in fact does choose to coach, I'll help him. He also has a 6'10" brother that's looking to play basketball in the States, so it doesn't hurt to stay in touch with these guys in case down the line you may have those guys play for me or whatever.
Right. Well, Coach Braun, it's been a pleasure having you on. We hope, we wish you the best at Rice. We'll be watching the success. We know that in a couple of years, you guys will be back in the NCAA tournament. We know you're busy with recruiting. So again, thank you very much for coming on.
Well, and I want to just say it's really, there is a good group, even though it's a small group of coaches around the country. I think the coaches that I know, the Jewish coaches in the country, have done a really good job. And,
right.
and I'm proud of what they've done, and whether it's the Seth Greenbergs and the Josh Pastners, who have done well, and they've had some success, and Ronnie Arrows and Coach Marks over at Texas Pan American, some guys that have been successful. Even Bruce Pearl, who has had some success, and I know has fallen on tougher times lately, but you can't take anything away from the really those guys and who they are and what they've done for college basketball. There's so many good coaches that have gone through the ranks, and I know I'm forgetting some coaches, but just off the top of my head, those are guys. Keith Dambrod, who's now at the University of Akron.
Absolutely.
These are guys that are awfully good at what they do, and they're good guys to boot. So, and again, I know I'm forgetting a number of coaches, but there have been some outstanding coaches through the years, and I'm proud to be among those coaches that have done well. You might as well mention Red Auerbach. He wasn't too bad either.
No, not at all. Okay, Coach, thank you very much. Hopefully we can have you on before the season next year. We'd love that, to hear how the recruiting went and what you're looking forward to in the upcoming season. How does that sound?
Well, it sounds great. By the way, I didn't mention Joe Pasternak, who's now the assistant at Arizona. He was a former coach at UNO and did a great job. But again, I'd be happy to be on again, because I know I've omitted some people that have been influential in my life, and some coaches out there. I'd be happy to revisit and talk about some of them. But my pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Coach Ben Braun, who's the Rice Owls coach. A really great guy from the interview. It's been been very privileged to be able to interview all these coaches. They're all very good guys. We were going to take a commercial break, but that's not going to happen right now, because the interview went so well that we're just going to go ahead, and I'm going to dial up Jordan Farmar right now, the two-time NBA champion, who right now is playing for the New Jersey Nets. So I'm going to dial him up right now. So give me 1 second. Okay, we are now dialing him up. He should be picking up any second. Let's see. You know, he's very busy. They had a game last night. We are not getting an answer. Okay, well, maybe something happened to Jordan. It was confirmed with his PR guys that he'd be available. He's been battling an injury the last couple of weeks, so he could be getting some training. He could be getting some treatment on in the training room right now. So, you know, I'll just talk about some MLB action, and we'll try calling him back in about 5 minutes and see what's going on there. Maybe he was busy. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on the show. If not, we apologize. Like I said, it was confirmed, but with these guys during the season, it's very, very hard to reach the NBA guys. They're busy all day practicing. When they're not practicing, they're in the film room, film session, and he's injured, as I said. So we'll try him back on in a couple minutes. I'm going to talk for a few minutes, and then we're going to go to a commercial break. So just looking into this season coming up in the MLB, we talked earlier about Strasburg, who's going to be starting the Phenom. Good news for Phillies fans out there. Ryan Howard, the first baseman, just got his boot off from his foot. Of course, he had tore that Achilles. It was horrible to see in the NLCS Championship Series. And he's a huge part of Philly's success. He started his career in the minors, took him a while to build up, and now he's a superstar, making I think something like $24 million a year. Started the year he won MVP, he made $500,000 a year. So that's pretty amazing to see what's going on there. Just looking at some more huge headlines, Chris Carpenter has another setback. This guy's been injured all the time. Amazing pitcher when he's on, but just I feel bad for him. I'm a big fan of Chris Carpenter. He's a former Blue Jay. But he's just been injured, battling injuries. Hopefully he comes back. We wish the best for him. Next is really the guy who, all you baseball fans out there, in the early 2000s or middle 2000s when he was on the Minnesota Twins, Johan Santana was just a beast. No one could stop him. He was such a great pitcher. Won the Cy Young a couple of times. Always competed with Roy Halladay. Since he's gone to the Mets, he's had a ton of elbow problems. I just feel really bad for him. He signed that huge contract. The Mets, of course, went through all the Bernie Madoff scams, so that they're tough times for the Mets. Of course, they also lost their star shortstop. So I don't really know. I feel bad for the Mets. They still have David Wright. He's kind of they're thinking about trading him. They're putting him on the trading block. So we'll see what happens. The Mets is here, as we talked earlier in the show with Andrew Gershman. He kind of talked about how the Mets are really not going to compete this year with the emergence of the Washington Nationals. They're kind of going to be in dead last place. So that's always not fun for New York fans out there, because we know you love your Mets. Moving on to Felix Hernandez, the King. He got hit really hard the other day in the spring finale. I actually saw a clip of it. Did not look good. Still trying to figure out what's going on there. Hopefully it's not a big deal. He's a great pitcher. I love watching him play. So hopefully we wish him the best of luck. So the MLB is starting in a few days, and I know that I'm very excited to see what the Angels are going to do with the addition of Wilson, of course, Pujols, the Rangers, of course, got a lot of great players too. They didn't really lose anyone. They added a couple pitchers. So this is going to be a great battle out there in the AL West. Seattle, you never really know what they're going to do. They got Ichiro, who's being moved to the 3 spot. Oakland, of course, all you movie freaks out there, like my mom, who's a huge movie freak, made me go see Moneyball. So thank you, Mom, for making me go see that with you. But Moneyball is about Billy Beane. Of course, they've kind of had a few bad years lately, to say in a nice way. They haven't really competed that well. But this year, they brought in Mary Ramirez. They signed that prospect who's supposed to be amazing from Cuba to a big deal. They kind of got rid of all their pitching at the start of the year. So we'll see what's going to happen there. It's going to be a great year of baseball. We're going to take a commercial now. We're going to see what's going on with this whole Farmar thing. Again, I apologize for all listeners out there if you are listening right now. Like I said, it was confirmed with his publicist and the PR people, but he's been battling injury, and you never know. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to try and get this all figured out. So we'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamic specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Okay, we're back right now on Lewis Live. We're going to try Jordan Farmar again. If he does not pick up, we're going to assume that something's going on with him and that we'll talk to his people, and we'll have him on next week for sure whenever he's available again. I apologize to our listeners. There's not much we can do about this. Let's just hope that he picks up. So let's try giving him a call right now. Like I said, he's been battling a groin injury. So he might be getting treatment on it right now. Okay, it looks like it just looks like he's not available. Let's let it ring a couple more times. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't really know what to say. All I can say is that I wish him the best. I hope if he is injured and getting treatment, I hope he gets better soon. I'll be talking to their people, the PR people there of the New Jersey Nets, and see what exactly happened. But we'll for sure have him on within probably the next week. I'm sure there's some sort of reason for why everything happened. But you know what? It's okay. There's still a lot of sports to talk about. So there's actually some breaking news in about this whole Tebow deal. The Jets backup right now wants out. Now that Tim Tebow is coming in, he is just wants out. He signed a 1-year deal on last Friday to the number 2 quarterback for $1.25 million, which is not a lot of money, but it is over $1 million. So he is demanding a trade now, which makes sense because obviously Tim Tebow is the backup there. So that's just into Israel Sports Radio. I kind of want to talk about a little bit more about my opinion of what's going on with the Saints and this whole everything that happened with Coach Payne. Listen, in my opinion, Coach Payne should not be allowed to coach again. What happened there is, I think someone was comparing it to other stuff. There's nothing that compares to when you're talking about the safety and healthy of players in the league. This isn't like Spygate. I really didn't like that comparison earlier. Spygate was different. No one was getting hurt. Yes, it was cheating, but at the end of the day, it just helped them win. It didn't end someone's career. It didn't tear someone's ACL. So I don't understand why. I think Sean Payton, now that we've heard everything from all the players, of course a lot more is going to come out. I really, really think that Sean Payton should not be allowed back in the NFL. I don't have any respect for him anymore. I will acknowledge he's a good coach. I will acknowledge he's done a great job, but when you're talking about knocking people down and making sure they're injured so they don't play and getting paid extra money for that's not okay. Ari earlier in the show was talking about how he believed that in contract they can pay you more money, incentives for stuff that's not in the contract. Actually, I believe that's not true. I just didn't want to interrupt Ari at the time. He was kind of on a roll there with Andy Gershman, but I believe that's not true. You can't give them money on the side. So there's really no good reason for this to happen. It happened for 3 years. It happened with 1 billion players. I also don't understand everyone saying, who snitched this? Good for, you know what, Jeremy Shockey, if you did snitch this, good for you. It's good that we know that this happened. It's good that it's out in the media. It's good that Sean Payne has to deal with this. Everyone has to deal with their consequences. If you do something bad, you need to deal with what happens. You need to take responsibility. We're not talking about a teenager here. We're talking about a professional coach in the NFL. So if it was you, Jeremy Shockey, good for you. I don't know why everyone's on you for snitching on this. This is something that any player should have snitched on. Any player with integrity should have snitched on. I'm going to be seeing some of the lists people have been who participated in this. I don't even know what to say. It kind of leaves me speechless. A lot of these guys are guys who do a lot of community work, are good guys, but this is just not okay. When you are going after another player to intentionally hurt them, I mean, you do that when sometimes you don't even do that when you're with your friends playing football. We're talking about the NFL. This is how people make a living. This is their career, and that's just totally unacceptable. Okay, I've ranted about that enough. I'm going to move on now to some college hoops. Just going through today's headlines for all you fans out there. We're in the last about 13 minutes of the show. We're going to have the wrestling show on again. We're supposed to have Jordan Farmer on. Apologize again for the 20th time. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we'll get it taken care of, and we'll have him on as soon as we can. Back to college hoops. So Kendall Marshall's been in the news all week with all the broken scaphoid, had surgery, I believe Sunday or Monday, got the cast off the next day or Wednesday, is wearing a splint. Who knows? Sean May, if all you basketball fans remember, played with a broken hand in, believe it was the year where not the undefeated year, the year where they went 35-1, which was the year before the undefeated year, or after. I'm just mixed up right now. Sean May played in that game, and it actually, a lot of people, including my father, Sheldon Geller, who was in Indiana at the time, everyone has said that's the reason why they lost. It was one of those weird things Bobby Knight did. He decided to play Scott May. It did not end up really working out. So I don't see Coach Williams, Roy Williams that is, deciding to play Kendall Marshall. I think they have enough talent with Zeller, Henson, and of course Harrison Barnes, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft next year. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Another news, Oriaki's dad, the UConn big guy, said that he is leaving UConn due to their upcoming NCAA ban next year. When I first read that, I was like, that's not cool. You need to stay loyal to the program. And you know what? The reason why they're not going to the NCAA is because the students got such crappy grades. And I don't know. I don't really want to say anything because I don't know. But chances are Oriaki was one of those guys because from what I heard for the sources, most of the guys on the team did horrible. So it's kind of like, okay, you do really bad in school. You get punished for it. Oh, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go to another school. Again, though, I don't know. It could have been Oriaki was one of the guys who did not have all those bad grades. And if that is the case, then I completely apologize because I support Oriaki. You should not have to deal with what his teammates did. But we'll see. We'll have maybe a UConn insider on who will be able to tell us more about that. And other big news, as Mark Spears reported yesterday from Yahoo Sports, who kind of gave us an inside scoop before it was reported, Derek Fisher, the ex-D-Fish, says, from Los Angeles Lakers, the star there, or not even star, but you know what I mean. The guy who was always there to make the big shot or make the big pass to Kobe. D-Fish is signing on with the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I personally think is a great addition. Part of the knock for this Oklahoma City Thunder team is young. They're young, and their veterans are not. They have Nazir Muhammad, who's been there with the Spurs, but Derek Fisher, Nazir Muhammad. I take Derek Fisher, though. Nazir Muhammad's a great player. One of the most underrated players, actually, in the NBA. Gets a lot of boards, can score when he needs to. So that's a big pickup for Oklahoma City. I'm sure he'll love playing with Durant. And you know what? The biggest addition here is Fisher mentoring Westbrook, who kind of has an ego problem from what I've heard. Likes to shoot the ball way too much sometimes, kind of just throws it up there. So that'll be really, really great to have Derek Fisher tutor one of the young, great point guards in the league. I'm switching. There's so many great stories. Back to college sports. This is one that I just think is kind of funny. I'm not really supposed to say that, but Smart, the coach at VCU, has decided to remain at VCU and not go to Illinois. Wow. I mean, let's think about this. If this happened 5-10 years ago, he would leave so quickly that his bags would be packed. He'd be ready to go the second they called. But no, he rejected the University of Illinois, which I don't really know. It used to be one of the top programs in the country. Of course, they had that team with Dee Brown and Deron Williams, who made the championship but lost to Sean May's North Carolina. So Smart could be. This is what I think. I think Smart, what he's doing right now is he realizes he could possibly get a better coaching job than Illinois. I don't really know what coaching job. You never know. A lot of coaches are getting older. Rick Pitino's getting older. Just you look at all across the league, Jim Calhoun. I'm not saying he's going to get those jobs, but he could stay at VCU for a while. This is kind of what I think Brad Stevens is doing. They're both young. There's no rush. You can stay at this school, build more of a program. He's already been to 1 Final Four. Brad Stevens 2 Final Fours. Develop the program, and maybe in 5-10 years, move on to a place like Syracuse or a place like UConn or Michigan State. Who knows? So that's what I think is going on there. But I got to admit, I know a lot of fans in Indiana think it's hilarious. And I've talked to some people in Illinois, and they're very disappointed. He was kind of on their radar list, and they couldn't get him. So got to feel bad for Illinois fans out there. I'm sorry. I hope you get a good coach. I love the Illinois program, the great players. Another great baseball news for all you ATL fans out there, the Atlanta Braves. Chipper Jones is retiring. This is his last season. Ari Louis was saying Chipper Jones, Jorge Posada, I think he was just doing that to irritate Andrew Gershman, who's a huge Braves fan. Chipper Jones should not even be mentioned the same, not even sentence, but nothing. There's no comparison. This guy is probably one of the greatest. No, so not one of the greatest players of all time. I'm going to completely take that back. One of the most underrated players of all time. Everyone knows him, but he's just one of those guys who's really willing to contribute all the time. He's been on some good teams. He's been on some bad teams. He used to have that tandem with Andrew Jones. So, it'll be very good to see him play his last season with the Braves. I kind of wanted him to retire with Bobby Cox. He didn't want to do that. It's obviously not my decision. You know what? Since I have the show today and I'm alone, Ari Louis went to call the football game, and we have about 7 minutes left. We're going to transition to a whole new world, and we're going to explore real quick. We're going to look at golf. Tiger Woods right now is playing. I'm not sure what the name of the event. Oh, no, excuse me. The name of the event is the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Of course, I knew that. And Tiger Woods right now is 1 shot off the lead, which is good. And you know what? I'm rooting for Tiger. Of course, I condemn everything that he did with all those women. I do not support that. But as you know, he's paid for it. It's been 2 years now. It's time, maybe in 3 years, actually. It's time to move on. Not move on. I mean, I understand all the women out there who understand. You don't have to respect him, but he is a great athlete, and I love watching him play. My uncle always, taught me a lot about him. He told me he has one of the best work ethics in the world of any athlete. Of course, my uncle's Eddie Pitch, who is a former professional Canadian golfer in the CPGA Tour. So he actually knows what he's talking about, folks. This guy used to follow Tiger from a young age. But, so also yesterday we had some soccer. Yes, I am going into soccer. I know there's a soccer show, but we have a few minutes left to kill. And I am a huge soccer fan. I'm not allowed to talk about that on the show because this is more the American show. But, since we have some time, big games yesterday, Manchester City against Chelsea. So that helps Man City get back on top with Man United. That's going to really come down to the end of the season. And what do you know? Arsenal has really come out of nowhere and actually jumped Tottenham in the standings. Great job by their coach, Wenger. I'm really impressed with what's been going on with Arsenal. Yossi Benayoun, of course, the Israeli player, is playing there, and it's very good to see Arsenal succeed. I am actually an Arsenal fan, so I love it. Chelsea is not doing that great. Tottenham tied with Stoke City, which is very disappointing for all the Tottenham fans. The Yids out there, a lot of Tottenham fans in Jerusalem. I've been to a lot of games with the Tottenham fans. Liverpool suffers another tough defeat to QPR, so it's kind of tough for Liverpool, tough for Tottenham. I don't really know what happened to Tottenham. They just kind of fell apart. We got to talk about this. This doesn't even have to do with soccer, obviously it does, but the whole, I don't know if anyone caught out there, but the Muamba, who is a player on Bolton who just collapsed against Tottenham last week, he was, according to some sources, he was dead for 78 minutes, but they brought him back to life. It's being called a miracle. Good for him. I've heard a lot of great things about him. He's a really good player. I've seen him play multiple times. He's played for the U21 team of England. I believe he's from Congo or in that area. So, yeah, that's great. Sad news, actually, an Indian player collapsed during a game yesterday, I believe, in a match. So he's not going to get as much publicity about it because it's the Indian League, but it just condolences to him and his family. That must be very difficult. You never expect that to happen in sports. Last thing I want to say, we are in Jerusalem, and just some, not breaking news, but the gunman who was in charge of killing the three or four Jewish students and then some soldiers, or the rabbi and his kids, I apologize, is confirmed to be dead. It's very sad, everything that happened. I don't really know where things are going to go from now. It's great to see that France is taking this very seriously. Sarkozy's taking it very seriously. The funeral was in Jerusalem on Wednesday. But no, I just thought you got to add maybe a little news to this, that it's been breaking news, is that he is not alive anymore. He did not make it through the skirmish with the police. Anyway, this has been a great show. Again, last time, I'm going to say it, we apologize that Jordan Farmer was not able to come on. I will talk to his people. We will get him on. Thank you very much for everyone tuning in from Jerusalem, Israel. This is Raphael saying good night.